talk about time limits?
What?
What are we doing for time limits?
45 minutes.
25 right now?
45. And if we have to, and then I'm assuming we're going to do college overtime. Because we have to have a winner.
College overtime play till there's an advantage?
Yeah.
That works?
Both people get a turn and.
Whoa. We said next soul wins. I specifically asked the question.
Oh, is that what we did? So we did NFL rules?
I specifically asked Jeremy the question, what is the timing rules and what is the tiebreak procedure? And he stated next soul wins.
Okay. So it's 45 NFL. That's fine.
I was expecting next soul.
Okay, that's cool.
That is it. Each player gets a turn as a significant departure from next soul wins.
So we play until someone rescues the soul.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I did not catch that. That's why I was asking.
So like going first is
Pretty important.
ideal then?
Yeah.
Of course, to be fair, I really don't expect very many of these games, if any, 2 timeouts.
So this one would be.
It's certainly not timeout tie.
Right, yeah.
Got it. She's based in Lansing now. Everybody tells her that if she gets all the clearances that they're technical,
So we're apparently live.
she can make big bucks on the private sector.
Yes, secret clearances are nice, but top secret is where the money is.
Yeah, well, that's.
Well, I guess that requires me to be talking, so.
What
how
are you
about that?
then? Ultra top
Does that
secret?
work? Hear me?
Say secret.
There you go. I like that.
So we're not coming through.
Yeah, so they're afraid.
I may have sent Justin on a wild goose chase for water and ibuprofen for me.
They're afraid that she's.
Does he have some?
I don't know.
I have some.
That's why I was kind of saying I may have sent him on a goose chase.
I know what some is.
Hey, Mark. Best of luck, man. Excited to play against you. I'm sure we
All
probably
right,
played way
they're
back in
shaking
the day,
hands
but
and we
it's,
are getting ready to start round
to it.
one.
Oh,
Looks
yeah,
like
you got the Red
John
Dragon
Earley on
sleeves
the
versus
left
Red
with
Dragon. I
the
like
threshing
that.
floor play mat, and Marc Vellake on the right with the revamped Redemption with Jayden logo.
Probably not screaming either. 'Cause
That's their problem, man. They know what they get when they sign up for me.
Number 8. So this is the prime opportunity for a big upset.
The community wild card, Mr. Play-In himself.
She drives 20 minutes and we're to pick her up. She rides an hour to Lansing each day. Somebody else does the driving.
I guess we could, every now and then we could peek at the Twitch stream and see the other matchup. There is a slight delay from the
I'd
audio
like
to
to
the
rest my
streaming,
elbows on
so
the table while I play.
you guys are
No
going to
problem.
deal with that. But if someone's
We can
just
not
focused
stream
on
me,
this
that's fine,
stream, we
too.
could
I really don't care.
potentially take a peek at the other one to
I don't need my loss to Mark
keep
to
up
go
with
down
that one a
in
little
infamy
bit.
and be forever recorded in the interwebs.
they would like it to be.
Okay.
I got to win first. So it seems like custom sleeves was almost a requirement here too, because just about everybody's playing custom sleeves.
Yeah, definitely. Well, in a tight field like this, you have to take every opportunity that you can to
Throw shade.
throw shade. It's like you can't really show up with just blank color sleeves. Like you're basically conceding at that.
But, you know, she goes away for a week, class.
No way.
Alright, so I've got
Did you take a look at Tyler's sleeves? The people will enjoy Tyler's sleeves when he comes up.
I don't think I noticed them.
so live stream is here.
Yep.
Don't have to worry about anything here.
Yeah, I'm not.
And I can change stuff.
Supposed to give you a woo creation boy. Yeah.
Woo! 16 time!
Leave that up because everything's running, right? Yeah. And that way, literally, the only thing I would even touch is that, which I'm probably not going to need to.
All right, for those watching at home, get your predictions in now. Are we going to see an upset, or are we going to see the favorite move on?
I'd rather leave this up.
Man, as much as I like Marc, and I think Marc's really put in a lot of work, I just don't think that you can go against John knowing that people will not ever let him live it down if he loses to the 8 seed here.
No, he's definitely motivated, so he's got that going for him. And the question is, how prepared is Marc for this matchup?
Yeah. You don't drive down with your family and expect to get put out in the first round, so there's a lot working against Marc here. I tell you what, their shuffle game's pretty good.
Who all brought custom sleeves of this nonsense?
What do you think the odds are that we'll see any go first determination other than dice?
All right, Mark. Best of luck. And whenever they tell us to start.
I don't think that we will see that.
Should we do a 2-die high roll to determine who gets to pick first player? Oh, hey, look, we already 2 dice out. It's like somebody was thinking for us.
6.
All right, there's the dice roll.
Did you catch who won that? It
It looked like the last roll was a 4-4. There was a glare on it, so I couldn't quite see the
That
second
bucket
dice.
over there, we're gonna fill that whole thing up with plots.
Like us personally, or like the tournament field?
Tournament fields.
So like
That's
maybe
a lot of plots that fits in
I
there.
say maybe when you add in tomorrow's games. I don't think we're gonna do it tonight. I think we'll give it a good college try among the 8 of us tonight. But I think we'll need people's help tomorrow. And yeah, that's awful big for the amount of players that showed up, which is awesome turnout. I mean, where you had like 20 some tonight. If we double that tomorrow, or even if we had 10 more tomorrow, you know. But yeah, I think it's gonna need a little bit of work to go there. Chris, or can we?
I am ready as soon as I close the store. If you guys are ready.
We have cut. We're ready. If those guys are ready.
They're ready for it.
All right.
All right, guys. 45 minutes starts now. Well, no souls, I'm afraid.
I have no souls either.
Oh, you're killing me.
I'll go first.
Okay.
No stars.
All right, players have got their hands. It looks like we might be about to start.
Roll
What? No reserve and scrolls.
Why not?
No cards that access the reserve and scrolls.
That's what you think. Go ahead.
You can't be serious. Now you got me wondering what card could possibly access the reserve from scrolls.
Can I have Dominish?
You may.
Okay, I'll decline.
You're funny. You're just trying to screw with me is what you're doing.
Maybe.
It's like, no, you can't have second coming. All right. I think. Face down art.
All right, so we've got a lost soul on the board. That is from the best set in Redemption history, I believe.
Draw 2.
Looks like it's Angel Wars art.
And I will wait for you to accept.
All right, we've got John going first, but also with the soul draw, so he gets the advantage of building up some resources. All right, Guardian comes out.
That's quick. That's quick.
Still have to get down a little bit further.
So what do you think the chances 100% that Falling Away is in John's deck?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that coming out quick kind of sways things a little bit.
Probably even in his opening hand too. Like when the opponent gets a turn 1 Guardian, that pretty much guarantees your Falling Away is going to show up right away.
I feel like we both have a similar offense.
We got a judges mirror match right off the bat. Probably going to see a lot more.
Go
of those.
ahead.
Yeah, I would venture to say that 6 of the 8 decks probably are centered around judges. As much as there was a lot of talk, especially on that podcast, that we had people trying to play the mind games. I mean, you know what's good in this format.
Can I have Dominish?
Yeah, the offenses are definitely a bit centralized, but I think
The big
Just
question,
drop
do
the
you
pair.
have Guardian in your deck? If you're playing judges, you're probably
double
playing a
Dom's
fairly
coming out right
fast
off that. Could be a bit
Possibly
aggressive
in
because
there.
now there's no souls to rescue. So if he droughts some, then that could end up.
Rather not risk losing
Oh,
out
never
on
mind.
that altogether.
Okay, he's just going to play the Falling Away.
So he
Still
he
prep
used falling away
phase.
and got his guardian down. So that's a potential
Thank you.
How many?
Two.
swing in the momentum there and the timing
More
for
the
the
water
game.
than anything else. Sure.
Yeah, both players, they're doing things right off the bat.
No souls in your drawing.
Who said this was going to be a slow format, right?
Well, nobody's found an auto yet, so it could be worse.
Okay.
I made him allow first turn.
Yes, it is now.
Six,
Or
seven,
the-
eight,
the-
two more cards.
Yeah, because it's the errata version now, where you shuffle 6 to draw 6, or your entire hand, or 6 random.
So it's not your one?
Yeah, so
I shuffle 6.
it would be, so you keep 6.
Mark's got the card advantage, but no souls to rescue. So will be interesting to see if John
Back to
can
bite me.
build that resource advantage back up or sneak some souls in while he's still behind.
This may also bite me later, but pass.
You shuffle 6. So give me 40.
All right, there's a soul, so now he can actually start leveraging those resources. Looks like he did discard to hand size last turn, so having something to actually attack for will let him use all those resources that he's building up.
Go to battle phase.
Yeah, go for it.
Revealer on you. Revealer top 2. Rest your tent.
Looks like John's got, what is that, red at the top?
Yeah, looks like we're going to have our first real battle here, potentially.
We got booster out of the way already, so you don't have to worry about multiplayer and first one free. So, I guess we did
Looks like first one's free anyway.
as soon as I say it, right?
Still no defense out from either player. I think that's where you're going to see a lot of the differentiation between these decks is what people think is best to defend. Like everybody knows there's going to be a lot of judges, but people seem to not agree on what the best defense was.
And that's why you trust him.
Don't trust me in the game.
And that's why you want to do the first turn now, because it's 6 for 6. And then I'll do it.
I wonder how much variation there's going to be for like, is it strictly balanced?
I have
Is,
domination, please.
are people playing more offense in some of these decks, or you know how the ratios spread out across the different players?
Yep, that's definitely another interesting factor to see. Besides what defense people choose to play, how much defense they choose to play. It looks like so. Another factor: support cards, counter cards. Looks like we've had a Covenant with Death come out and then immediately answered.
We're gonna go. PSA.
Cards in hand.
11.
I have domination.
So something that we're going to see a lot in this format, as opposed to more modern decks, is the inclusion of some one-off characters that don't necessarily fit directly with the offense, such as like the Strong Angel right here. That's a 10/8 that makes the battle fight by the numbers. So in Scrolls, just chucking out those large fight by the numbers, annoying to answer characters, even if they don't get a rescue, often demands a large amount of resources expended by the opponent and can still make a big deal, even though they don't fit directly with the offense. So I think we're going to see a lot, both on offense and defense, some big annoying characters kind of splashed in.
Yeah.
Scrolls is a lot more of a resource management game than modern decks. You're not really racing toward a central idea. Most of the time you're trying to leverage the resources that you have, force the opponent to use more resources to answer your attacks than you're answering for theirs.
No, that's one way to generate.
And as we can see just how annoying that TSA can be, Mayhem coming out.
And I got my revealer
Evidently, he
here.
doesn't have an answer, and he's trying to dig for something.
Okay.
Plenty of souls coming out for both players as well. Looks like Drought's probably not going to be that much of a factor this game. All right, and he's not able to find anything. So yeah, this is a great example of why characters like TSA get included in these decks. Sometimes you just don't have an answer for a 10-8.
We will also damsel. Spirit of divination. 2, 3, 4, 6. We'll take an evil card. Top deck.
Looks like Mark just played Divination. For those who don't know, it's a territory class evil enhancer that lets you dig through the top 6 cards of your deck and take one and put the rest back. So Mark definitely establishing a solid lead in this position. We could be on our way to seeing the big upset.
Oh, for my hand.
Yeah, just because I didn't see it off the side.
Yep. All right, that puts me at 8 cards. I pass.
Also, we finally have some confirmation of what defenses are actually in these decks. So it looks like Mark is either running some kind of Magician's defense, maybe a little bit of orange splashed. Only time will tell.
Go to battle.
You may.
All right, John found the auto, so that's definitely something that's going to help him make a comeback here. And then Rain Becomes Dust. So Rain Becomes Dust pretty much prevents all drawing. Any cards that would be drawn, they just get discarded instead. So John finding a speed engine in the form of auto and a way to deny speed to his opponent in the form of RBD is exactly the kind of thing that he's going to need here. So even though Mark's up a soul with a Guardian, this is definitely still a close game.
So that he's protected from harm, yes.
He's protected from harm.
All right, we see a little bit of interesting information here in the hand. Looks like John has got he's got a Captain of the Host, another one of those Flash Angels. That one's a 10/10 unlike TSA. It's a little bit bigger. There's a KOT in there, which is basically the same on defense. A giant 5 by the numbers character. This is really annoying to deal with.
2 discarded.
Hard to tell what the rest of his defense is.
Your initiative. Stalemate. Pass.
Pass.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, let's see if I can get caught back up. I was trying to work on some settings here on the soundboard.
It looks like we had a successful block by Mark. It's now his turn, so he's
So he blocked after John found the resource generation,
yep.
and that seems significant, right, Josh? That seems significant because it seems like Mark is still
I don't think I want
in the momentum spot.
Yes, he definitely is. So we saw the Son of God New Jerusalem coming out from John right at the beginning. So even though he's technically still up by 1, Mark hasn't played his Doms yet. So assuming that Mark gets to his Doms by the end of the game, Mark is up a soul here, and it's his turn attacking. So if he can get a successful rescue here, which looks like he very well may unless John has a martyr. If John gives up a soul here, this could be. Okay,
Oh,
he had
he
the
dropped
martyr.
it. There it is.
Okay.
So we saw an even
correct me if I'm
exchange
wrong, but
of
I
martyr
believe
and
Like Grapes
an
of
angel
Wrath,
there.
you
So
get the benefit of a new battle, correct?
battle dominance still even.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Looks like he is dropping the. So yeah, little known fact: you can drop a grapes with no target to get a new attack.
And so he
And
got it.
This is actually a great example of why sometimes playing your Son of God New Jerusalem or Son of God Second Coming early can be a bad idea, because it allows you to, it puts you ahead in soul advantage, allowing grapes for the opponent to
Yeah.
start a new battle, even though you're not actually ahead because the opponent is going to eventually find their bombs anyway.
Pass the turn.
So it happened pretty fast, but he TSA thrown in.
Yeah, I tell you
another
what,
walk-in.
for someone that won a play-in spot to this tournament and drove all the way from New York to Tennessee, Marc is he's well in this game.
Oh yeah,
And,
Marc,
and he looks like there's not a big disparity between these two players so far. If anything, you would say that he has a clear advantage here.
yeah, Marc definitely has an advantage here. He's already powered through a lot of his deck. Probably gonna make it to his dominance at some point. So, assuming he can find his dominance, he's really only one soul away from winning, and he got that guardian down. So,
There's no,
no falling away.
yeah. I almost, even though, you know, I've talked to Marc and I know he's confident, I kind of felt like John would have the advantage from a sit-down mindset. Like, not that Marc was just going to lay down or anything, but you know how you just get that little bit of disparity between players that are known as one of the top players in the game and then someone that's trying to work on accumulating that type of reputation. And Marc may very well be on his way to doing that here.
Yep. Well, you definitely. I mean, you know what most people expected, given you can see the seed 1 versus seed 8. So from the beginning, John was definitely the favorite. But we can see Marc definitely took some risks and they paid off. So the inclusion of Guardian in a deck at all is a huge risk, because if the opponent can get their falling away down, then you've got a blank dominant. But if you get yours down, your Guardian down, then they're falling away as a blank dominant. So high risk, high reward payoff. Marc chose to include it, and it paid off for him in this game. So he is definitely, he's taking chances and they're paying off.
Auto. Gideon.
All right, looks like the Gideon is making the rescue attempt here.
Yeah, so we've got a Confusion of Mind down by Marc. Not really that much of a counter against Auto Gideon, but Marc has already shown that he can deal with Auto Gideon once before, so we'll see if he can do it again.
Malachite Slave.
All right, a Malachite Slave coming out, letting him search the deck
Man.
for anything he needs.
Has he played? He hasn't played Uzza yet, has he? Oh,
Yep, there it is.
there it is.
And I'm going to be discarding Iron Creator.
So there we see from John some teal cards being laid down. Probably a pretty common inclusion that you're going to see in a lot of judges' decks,
I played the
considering
two
there's
previous
a couple
ones.
points of synergy that they have, and Zeal for the Lord being a interrupt and CBN kill 2 evil characters on Phineas. Extremely strong card interaction in this format.
Still don't want to draw, unsurprisingly.
Is that your attack?
Yes.
Rob M put that he was pulling for Josh like he was watching football when he saw him rescue that first soul. I wonder how Marc's doing now.
All right, we see John's Uzza come out, so Uzza's down for both sides.
I mean, and you got to know that that's in every deck here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's enough. So like dominant parity, Uzza parity, those types of things are going to be a big deal for
I will
keeping
pass.
up with who's actually ahead in these games, because if if they're up a soul, but they haven't used their Uzza, they haven't used any of their Dom blocks, are they really behind? Not really. But so far, we've seen pretty even exchanges in resources by each players, and yet Marc has also managed to sneak a couple souls in there. So Marc definitely ahead right now.
I'm gonna misplay last turn.
And Mark has not seen Otto yet,
Go to battle.
correct?
I think Marc does have an auto down there, look in the bottom of the screen, but he's
Oh, okay,
not
I
using
see
it
it.
because of the RBD.
Right.
So that RBD could buy John enough time to make a comeback still. It's going to
Use
delay
spring
Marc finding his
enhancements,
dominance and
such
could
discard pile
keep him
for
from closing
Yeah.
out the game long enough that John can do
Pale green.
I was just
for
curious if
curse,
he was waiting to get to his auto,
prevent special
or he
release on
needed
all
to get rid of
enhancements, CBP.
RBD before he was trying to do something about it,
Block.
or if he's letting that influence how he plays here.
So we've got Balam getting CDB
There we
Token
go.
of Death back. But yep, there's an angel out.
Another battle dominant.
Trigger
Yep.
charm. Oh,
So something that has not changed much in Redemption history is dominance influence battles
there's no sense in trying to do that then.
in a big way.
Thank you.
Some nice revealer art,
Yep.
and that puts it 3-2 now. At least I assume 3-2.
Yep, I think that's correct.
It's hard to work with the soul count being cut off there for John, but 3-2.
You are running
But
flex
again, the
mode.
dominant's got the 2 for him, so
Why wouldn't I?
Yep, so we've seen Angel out from both players, Martyr
So
out from
what
John, but
differentiates
Marc
flex
still, I
mode
believe,
from
has his
straight
Martyr.
police, or,
However,
judges
if John
based
keeps
on
attacking
running
with
first?
Audio Gideon, then Martyr's
Just
not
that
really
way,
going to
so
do
I'm not
much.
running flex bone.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're running.
I'm just running
and if you're
bone
John,
with
why
that
would you
flex.
do anything else right now?
Exactly, you're already
I mean,
forcing
it's,
him to
it's
burn
just a
through.
general concept.
He only has so many
We're
blocks
running
against
very
that.
similar things.
Pressuring those over and over again.
I'm at 9 cards here. I apologize.
Nope,
I'll
you're good.
make a decision here in a second.
Unless Marc can find some way to get him off of that attack, likely not going to see much else.
You got plenty of time. You only need to pick up one more.
24 minutes.
Okay. Plenty of time. You're fine.
It's definitely a very annoying attack to counter, given that Gideon has no ability at all to counter, and auto cannot be negated.
That will
And
happen.
the wheel within a wheel that's currently on auto protecting him from dominance, so he couldn't even martyr the Angel in territory if he wanted to.
I'm at 8. Go ahead.
We could see so charms, magic charms. It's currently equipped in territory, could be used on attack to take the Gideon out of territory, denying him the audio Gideon attack. Will be interesting to see if he chooses to use that.
And since he's prevented, and I don't need to worry about. He chooses a male, so that, yeah, it's. Yeah, we're going.
Looks like he's pushing, how do you say that, Gyre?
Yep, Jair. So Jair's a 2/2, one of the best initiative getters in the judges lineup. So looks like he's gunning for a battle winner play of some kind.
I do like that wheel within a wheel because you've made both pieces of your primary attack unmartyrable. That's good. That's good. I could martyr Gideon while he's in your territory, but it's not nearly as good as hitting auto.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
John taking his time with this block, so either he's got not a lot of options or a lot of options.
And with John, you'll never know.
Cards in your hand.
10.
Which one you got, Mark? Goliath?
Oh, there's the Goliath.
All right, so we see a Goliath come down. So
I do get to present
Mark can follow this up with
And with the withdrawal
any other
trigger,
attack of his choice.
hero that'll get underdecked.
Does he have something for a Goliath?
Based on recent wording, he could present from John's territory.
That one. Good
Yep, that is, until we see an errata, Goliath can in fact cause your own heroes to get pulled in.
That recently was a thing, and if I was him, I don't know if I wouldn't have just done that.
All right, we're seeing a straight up battle here. We see a ordinary battle winner coming out, another battle winner from John, and then a dagger.
The dagger.
And Mark gets his third. So
Mark is the 2 free ones away.
Yep.
So for an underdog, he's as close as you can get right now.
This game could quite literally end on any top deck of Mark's. We are not sure if he has one or none of the final dominance in hand.
We'll send Jeremy to go investigate. How about that, guys?
Yeah, definitely would not want to be in John's position right now. It's going to be very hard for him to come back from here, especially with the size of Mark's deck. Looking like this game might be over.
But I'm curious.
Mm.
Could I activate magic charms during my own battle?
That is a
Oh,
question.
what's
for
he
you.
going to? Magic Charms
I'll
here,
let you decide what you're going to do next.
which is getting reprinted as a regional promo, but here we have the classic version, the original, that is activated on a magician.
During my battle.
Yeah, Magic Charm's the old one. Very versatile card, given that you can choose to activate it anytime during battle, whether that be your own battle or the opponent's battle.
Can I trigger magic charms
So
during my own rescue
sometimes you
attempts
can
to capture-
attack and then trigger your own charms to steal people's territory. You can use
I
it
wish I would have known that like 2 rescues ago.
from your own territory to capture opponents' heroes that are in
John's
battle.
over here like Hughes.
It can be hard to negate doing
I've just been waiting for you to do it for like the past 4 turns. It's
Extremely
no
strong
big
card.
deal. I've just been sitting here in awe of how well your deck is
Unfortunately,
played out and the strategic
doesn't do a
decisions
lot
that you
against
made
auto
that have given
Gideon
you the incremental
while they're
edges
in
that
battle.
you've
So both players
needed
have
here.
the charms down, but
there's
not opted
enough
to use.
cards left in your deck low there. I need to get 2 rescues before you get there, and I just don't see that happening here. So I'm semi-resigned to this, but I am impressed with the way you've played. A little bit of battle.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Auto.
Okay.
Oh, here he goes. Draws his 2, exchanges 4.
Yep, good old auto Gideon.
And do you think Mark's got another block for it?
We shall see. Magicians tend to be a little chumpy. There's got to be a Death of Unrighteous in his deck somewhere. I don't think we've seen that yet. That's a pretty good answer for Auto Gideon.
Although he also has the
are going
advantage
to
here, even if he gives up the soul,
play.
knowing that he's just those 2 free ones away.
Self coming out
So I
here.
get to choose the abilities.
I
of
saw
one of
that
the
in his deck when he
heroes
showed it to me
here,
earlier, and it seemed a little
and I believe that makes
obscure.
Yeah, definitely an interesting inclusion.
We'll
Now, if it turns out to be a solid play here,
Old Confusion, huh? So new Confusion lets you dig through pretty much every zone of the opponent and then banish a card. This Confusion, I believe, only goes to the opponent's deck and you can discard a card. So given that the big 2 dominants have already come out,
Seriously?
probably just
How
going to
in
try
the world
and
did this
take
card
away
make it in the deck? You'll have to
good,
explain
solid
that to
battle
me
for
later.
his opponent. Samuel's Edict probably one of the strongest options that he could choose given the dominants are all gone.
yep.
Doesn't help him in this battle though, so the question is, does he have the DOU?
Opponent may not make a rescue.
What is that one?
All right, that one I believe is enter up the battle.
Oh,
Oh no, it's
there
it's
it
not.
is.
Great point. So that might, if I recall, that might prevent a rescue attempt on the next turn. And he does have the DOU, so
man, Mark came to play, guys. Mark is out here in these streets.
Oh, the capture.
yeah, definitely. So self allowing some brown cards to see play
I mean,
in this pale green defense.
I drafted that great morning in booster draft, and I was
on
like,
the
it
fence
looks
about
cool.
that card, but I
Yep,
figured-
so-
I didn't know you could do that kind of stuff with it.
Oh yeah, so those yet another high risk, high reward play from Mark here. Given that Great Morning doesn't affect the battle that it's in, and it's an off color
I've
card
gotten
for his
not a single
defense,
evil battle
definitely
during this
can
deck,
get
not
stuck
even,
in your hand if you're behind, and
interrupt and remove all from the game.
risky
It's-
card
the
to
defense is
include,
just
but
meant to
as
draw
we can
us.
see here, definitely paying off.
Plot when you were
And
just
John,
early, you flipped
John
it.
pushing
No, okay, I guess the plot.
here.
It's not even
Gotta,
Pellegrini, though.
gotta keep
He's
in mind
only
there's
in
a
there
covenant
for
with death on the
Vanessa
board.
self or-
Is it negated? He's got it turned sideways.
Covenant with Death cannot be negated, so
Right, so
So, yeah,
I guess he's just doing that for space, or
yep, looks like some
okay.
people like to keep
Player
it
preference.
sideways.
It is a pretty good one.
no, you can't not run it. even
Do you
if
see a
it's
way that John comes back here?
I really don't. That
I
great,
mean, it's starting to get.
yeah, that great morning is pretty devastating. That guarantees that Mark is going to have more time to take.
And all he's
Mark
got to
has
do is draw those souls,
Exactly.
or those dominants.
And for all we know, Mark could have Son of God in his hand right now, and he's just waiting on New Jerusalem, in which case he doesn't even have to draw the New Jerusalem. He just has to make a successful attack on this upcoming turn. So time is running out for John.
Didn't think we would be saying that. Round one here against Mark.
All right, does he draw it?
Let's see the top deck. Not dropped immediately, so we have to assume he didn't draw.
Yep, looks like the game continues.
You got to feel like he's sitting on Son of God or New Jerusalem, one of the two, with as much of his deck as he's going through. So, if there is a successful rescue here, he could drop Son of God if he has that, and that be game.
That battle there. Straight Jared.
I guess in that situation, John's hoping that he's got New Jerusalem and it doesn't do anything for him yet.
Yep, that would definitely be the hope.
Charms on Jer.
There goes the magic charms.
Yep, Charm's coming out pre-blocked, so even if Mark somehow had an answer for that, he'd still be able to present a blocker
We get
afterwards.
to,
Looks taking the Gideon as well to
well, I got, yeah,
deny
you know,
Mark
it's
any
during
future
the
auto
morning
Gideon
anyway,
attacks.
I guess
So
whatever, I can wait.
if Mark was one soul short here, this could be a turnaround point for John, but specifically because he's got the Guardian and he's at 3 souls, the fact that his attack options.
There's a hopper coming over to give him a target.
Yep, so John is going to be able to make a rescue here.
Has the correct errata. I assume that it does.
Well, it
Can I
didn't
get a
work for the
judge?
Great Warning.
Oh, yes, I figure.
The intent behind the card is clear. Yeah. Just great morning. Have errata.
Great morning.
Brown evil enhancement.
Says opponent may not make a rescue attempt next turn. He played it on his defensive turn. I want to know if next turn refers to my turn or his turn.
So yeah, great. Reminding John that he does not, in fact, get a rescue
No,
attempt.
I know what you
Scrolls
mean.
cards, man.
Scrolls
I am
cards,
I'm fairly certain
that deck
it has
of Mark's
errata,
looking awfully
that it's
small,
my
so
next rescue attempt basically gets
Yeah,
skipped.
I mean-
but I
Top
wanna
deck
make
victory here at any time.
If it doesn't,
I mean, if he draws it here and just gets to drop it, and the 8 seed advances, man.
As a play as restrict opponent.
I will say this is definitely, even though John
okay.
looking
Yeah, so it
like
has
he's not
play
going
as-
to take
has
this
play as-
one,
It has play as
still
clarifying the
a
intent
good
of the card.
example of
Yep.
how support cards can make the difference in a matchup. So that
See what they
CWD,
say and what they mean.
not really doing a ton in the judges matchup, considering that a lot of the abilities are either CBN or non-existent. While that RBD by John
My
is
deck was
definitely
supposed
the
to be
only
fast, and
thing
you got that
keep
Rain Becomes
making
Dust
this
stuff
game
early,
last
and
as
I've
long as
just
it has.
Yeah.
You're down to 6 cards there.
No, well,
Will be
it's
interesting.
close,
Will
but
be
half
very
of our
interesting to
souls.
see if we see
still, it
more
should've
Rain
tended to be
Becomes
this-
Dust.
this- Like usually when I'm playing against even rotation decks, my deck is quick.
Just boom, 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 boom.
That was actually a recent cut to get my deck down to 50. I took out Rain Becomes Dust, and I'm almost wondering if that was a bad decision.
Go ahead.
See, their souls. He's digging deeper. What is that? 3 cards
That
left.
deck's
It looks
basically
like.
empty.
Come on, Mark.
I-
Put him down.
I think this is it either way for John because he's, I think, at 3, if I remember correctly right now. And so even if Mark doesn't get a rescue here and John does on his turn, Mark is going to deck out on his next turn, it looks like. And it's going to be a 5-4 game in Mark's favor at best.
Yeah. Oh, Ron just walked in. Does that mean Tyler? 5-3. First turn mayhem. Tyler
Unnecessary.
advancing.
We're going to just make a good old-fashioned rescue temp of Deborah.
Oh, man.
Magic Charms. And we will capture.
Ron's explaining to us how Tyler just devastated him with he had a great opening hand. That first turn mayhem in their game. So if you've been watching this one and you didn't see that, you can check that one out afterwards.
Lone Deborah being pushed, and Mark using his own charms to get rid of the few attacking options. The Simeon, a great judge's card, even though he's not a judge himself, allowing you to band to Otto, who's a prophet, and then exchange to a judge, letting you set up a
Here
large
comes the Gomer.
No band.
TXP foil card.
bands to any mail. So this could be no ban.
Heyman's.
See a plot coming out.
Here it comes. Let's rip it, baby.
John prepared to rip a plot,
Deborah.
even though it may not change the outcome.
Rip it on camera, man. Give us the money shot.
Let us see it.
And
Money shot. Money shot. There we go. Halfway. This is how you do it, Jay. Professional. This is how you do it, man. Fold it, you get you a crease line, and then you rip that bad boy.
And I pass.
Now, what do you think?
I think Mark's probably pretty intimidated by how classy of a plot rip that was.
Yeah. Do you think it sways anything here?
Unfortunately, I think Mark's mental state is no longer a determining factor for this game.
I don't think so either. I think the apocalypse might be the only thing that could wreck it.
That does prove John is not dismayed, even in the dim
rescue
world he's
attempt
currently living in. We'll see if he can make it to 4.
exchange.
Just a straight auto wing.
The fourth one's free.
Fourth one's free.
Thank you, your discard pile.
There's not a lot of blocking options here for Mark. He's checking the discard pile.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7.
It's like he's focusing on
Grapes are
maybe
wrapped
dominance
in
there
Nope.
and enhancements.
And he's protected from dominance only. To Manasseh.
All
And
right,
I will
that is.
not banned.
I don't know, what is that, Josh?
So that's King Manasseh. So
Manasseh.
you can discard. It looks like he's not choosing. You can discard to return. Discard yourself and another.
Well, I mean,
You will
Forgotten
carry
history
down
and
someone. It
scrolls
looks like he's
is-
not
yeah,
playing
I
Wonders
guess
Forgotten.
I mean, battle
It's in the battle card 0/4. So that lets him overcome the 8/8.
The defense.
Man,
Stalling
Mark
is
is
half the
full
name
of
of the game.
blocks
Good
here.
game.
Yeah, it looks like Mark definitely opted for a very chumpy defense.
Draw it. Make sure draw it. Make sure you actually have your end.
Hey, don't worry
There
about
it is,
it.
guys.
All right, now good game.
He dropped him.
That was awesome.
There it
The
is.
underdog.
He made it.
Number 8 seed has
So,
advanced over number 1 seed John Early in the Mr. Classic
That I stole from
Invitational.
Justin. He used it in
Man,
a number
this
of
is what
years
dreams
ago.
are made of, Josh.
Yeah, we are
the way
off
that
to an
the
exciting
card is
start here.
worded
So the big question
implies
is,
that
so
you
now
discard
we
a character
see
from your territory.
what
In
Mark is
fact,
trying to
the way
do.
that
He's
it's
making
worded is
some
you actually
high-risk,
discard any
high-reward
evil
plays.
character
He's got a
draw
fast offense
targeting
with a chumpy
in
defense
play.
with very
So if I
limited
only have-
blocks.
if I have an
So
odd number
looks
of
like
characters
he's
here, when I
looking to
play
make
that,
a
it's a
huge
battle
impact
card.
at the beginning of the
In battle,
game
you
and
discard
try
a
and
character.
leverage that advantage to close out
And if you
quick
have an odd
victories.
number, you
The
also
question
discard a
is,
character.
will
And most
that
players
work
don't
out as well
realize
against his
what it
future
is,
opponents
and
as it did against
so you,
John?
like, grab
I
your
don't know
character,
if he
discard
comes
it,
out and drops the
discard
Guardian
it,
that
you
quick
don't want
and,
to
you know, basically waste dominance in
So
opponent's
technically, I
deck.
could choose one of your ECs and
Right.
I mean,
but nobody
that's-
ever
When he dropped the
does.
Guardian early on and then got
Not
the fall
nobody,
away
but
early
most
for that
players.
swing,
And you're correct. I
it
don't have
made
anything
both of
active
those
to
be
reserve.
valuable
That
cards in his deck
fully
instead of
intended
the
to split you on.
other outcome where they could both be dead cards in his
Scroll,
deck.
like,
Yep,
was this really
So,
Type 1 class?
That
and I just
definitely had an
didn't know?
impact early on, and he just continued to
I was
push.
very nervous that I was playing
Solid,
Scrolls
solid,
only.
like tech plays as
classic
well,
format.
having the great morning
No,
and
I
the
just want a
self
little bit of
play.
tilt action
Like
for you.
who do you think is including those besides him in this tournament field?
No,
I will
ironically,
be
I'm
pretty
playing, like,
surprised
I feel
to
like
see
a
another
good amount
great
of
morning.
defense, and I just couldn't
I mean, it
find
wouldn't
any
be
of those
impossible
early
given that
turns.
the
Well, it
vast
doesn't help you
majority,
that
if
I
not
got
all the
Guardian
players, are
and
probably
falling
finding
away.
ways
Right.
to
Yep.
block their decks. So
And so you blanked my falling away, and
so great
and
morning.
your falling away worked,
show
which
up
is a
again,
huge swing, obviously,
but
and that's the
definitely not
dominant risk
something that I
factor.
was
You know, I talked
expecting
about
to
that
be
on the
popular.
podcast is the risk of
As
of
for
doing
the Guardian
both
play,
and hitting them, and
I
you
do
hit it,
happen to
and
know
that's
that
awesome.
not every
And
single
that's
player in the
a
field
huge
is even
piece of it,
running
obviously,
falling
as
away.
well.
So
that's why I said I play
some
high
people
risk.
are prepared to
Right.
let
Because
their
if I hit it,
opponent
great, but the
Yep.
other half of the
waste
games are
a dom
just
slot to
cards.
Guardian
Right, absolutely.
and not mind
The
it
great
one bit.
morning
So
play is obviously
we'll
a
see
high-risk,
how
high-reward
Mark
play,
fares
but
if he matches up
pretty
against
good.
one of those opponents.
Honestly, the biggest problem was you got your TSA. I couldn't find my Simon. I couldn't find my Simon or my Goliath.
And
If
and we
I
know
could
the
find
other
my Simon
games
or my Goliath
finished with,
there,
and
I
Tyler
have
advanced there. So
more counterplay and
now we're
options
looking
there.
for the other two
You know, I also
matchups to
got
get
covered
started
with death on my opening hand.
in round
I
one.
think that-
Right,
which
yeah,
is
because
going
death
to be
early, which didn't force me
probably-
to burn destruction.
probably
but I chose
the-
burn destruction there.
two
I
of the
also probably
more
burned Angel a little
balanced
hasty early
expected
on, but I felt like the
matchups,
pace of the game, the fact that I already
because you've
played my
got
big
4 and
two,
5.
I just
You've
kinda
got
wanted to
Brian
keep
Jones and
pushing,
Jayden Alstad.
but that obviously came back
And
to
then
hurt
you've
later
got
on with your
also
Great Morning and
2,
your,
I think, kind of similar
your
style
play. Not the
players
Grapes
a
one,
little
it was,
bit
the Great
in
Morning
Jay
was
Chambers
the one that was,
and
the Impact
the
one.
Guardian,
The
Justin
Grapes was just,
Alstad.
you know, us
So,
realizing as a community how
we're about to see
Grapes
Fortress Alstad
functions now, and it
play
gives
their
you
games.
a thing around for Smarter.
How do you think those are gonna go,
If
Josh?
I don't pick for Smarter there, you pick up a soul anyway.
Definitely
right?
going to be
So
interesting
I
to
made
see
you
how
play the
those
Grapes
go.
in
I
that
agree that
scenario
we're
where you
seeing
can,
some
but no,
kind of
very well
similar
played. Obviously,
matchup
that's a
against each
solid
other.
deck. Solid, super solid
Will
offense.
be interesting to see
I was
some of the
surprised
individual
Debs
deck building
Deborah,
choices, like we saw the
played,
high risk high reward plays Mark
that
here,
capture card there. I was
the
expecting Debs to
Covenant with, and then also the Covenant with
Oh,
Death
actually, I
in
took
Mark's
that
deck
card out
versus
to
Green
cut it down
to
John's.
50.
John's.
I just
Will
thought
be
it
very
was super
interesting to
that you
see
kept not going to
what
Gideon.
support
Like,
and
I didn't
counter cards,
understand that. I didn't understand
assuming
why you
another
wouldn't
judge's
just go to
move,
auto Gideon.
and how that's
Well, you
going
had
to
Rain
affect the
becomes
outcome of
dust
the game.
up before I got my auto.
You don't have to draw.
I thought the draw and the exchange were you couldn't do one without the other.
I was playing judges.
You may draw 2 and exchange, so you can choose not to draw and
You
then
can
just
choose not to draw and do the exchange.
So, Reach of Desperation.
that may help me in my next game. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Now that you've beaten me, I am going to coach you up for the next
Yeah.
steps here, man.
So, like, Reach of Desperation says interrupt the battle, or you may interrupt the battle, draw 3, and play the next. You get a may on all 3 of those actions.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So this the fact that this has and I can
It's
I can
just
do
the
one
may-
and not the other.
Yes. Correct.
I didn't attack with auto into Gideon once because you had Rain becomes dust. I'm like I can't afford to discard my NJ.
Yeah,
That's
so
good
you
to
can
know.
do the exchange without the draw.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And self is in there just because. Either I can guarantee initiative and then drop the forgotten history, or I can play confusion and all this
the
stuff.
numbers manipulation is really good there.
And plus, he's one more character I can play my Brown plus.
Right,
You know?
absolutely. I had this in my list up until yesterday when I cut it for 5th seal, or 3rd seal rather. If I draw it late, it's dead.
Yeah.
It's fully negatable by an evil character beforehand, like if I'm playing 5 numbers evil characters.
Yep.
And I really love the idea of having 3rd seal as a sneaky play on my angels that nobody expects.
I actually I took
Make sure you have all your cards there.
I took Battle Prayer out to put in Axe of Solomon. I like Battle Prayer because I can go to discard
I like
pile
Axe of
through
Solomon.
Nazareth.
You say, I'd play Axe of Solomon before I play Battle Prayer, just being honest.
Yeah, well that's why I made the switch last minute. Whew.
All right, fella, you get banished to the Phantom Zone for about 45 minutes or so.
Who, me?
No, Mark.
Mark. Say, I'm done, so now I can do whatever.
You can just leave. No, I'm just kidding.
I can help answer judges' questions. I can coordinate streaming information.
Oh, yeah, you gotta put the plot in there.
Oh no, it goes to Mark because he
Yeah,
got a rip.
Mark earned that plot.
Yep, he earned that. That would have been a little funny if you didn't have NJ.
All right, cool.
Who won, Tyler Ron?
Tyler got 5-3. All right, gentlemen, you guys are good. Jeremy is the host.
That is the Jake play that.
Not setting that up on yours. Yeah, changing the names. Yeah, no, that's totally up to you guys, whichever one you want to use. You know, but yeah, I can't use Jason. Can I just adjust this? Oh, I can adjust this within. Can I use my own playmat?
Jayden, I lost, so I can do stream stuff.
Okay, you know that help first with
Yeah.
How do I adjust the names? We can just switch them up. No, I mean, take it all out.
Yeah. So down here. Oh, yeah. So it's there. Okay. So this is versus. 5.
All right, looks like we're not going to waste much time getting into the next game here. And this is Justin and Jay Chambers, the 2-7 matchup. So we've got Mr. Jay Chamber of the Chamber Brothers, who won a qualifier event, versus Justin Alstad, who, by my calculation, has the most top 3 placings in at least active redemption.
Yeah, this is not nearly as far as overall records go, not nearly as disparate a matchup as the last one that we saw. However, Justin definitely a far more decorated player than Jay, so Jay here is definitely motivated to pick up the first Mr. Classic title and get himself on the scoreboard in a big way.
Yeah, he said he wanted to win all kinds of stuff this weekend, and I think he started off winning Type 2.
He has. He won the Type 2 event, so we'll see if he can follow that up and get himself on his way to sweeping the event. Yeah, also, this is for those who watch the Threshing Floor podcast will recall that this is a grudge match. Justin blames Jay for lowering his seeding in Top Cut in 2021 Nationals, allowing a certain player to knock him out through a timeout tie rather than a full win. Legend has it that said player and Justin finished that game unofficially, and Justin won, thus adding insult to injury.
Insult all the way to the injury.
Absolutely. That he, knowing that if he had only played a little faster, he would have won that game.
And I'm going to say that Jay is a strong man. He's up against all of the odds because he did not bring custom sleeves. He did not bring decorative sleeves. He is just rocking the black. I think if you just go by sleeves alone, Justin's already got the advantage, right? We got to give it to him. He got Batman sleeves.
That felt good, man.
But that doesn't bring it home, does it?
Well, we mentioned earlier that the sleeves are definitely an opportunity for the players to get their initial jabs in, and that running blank sleeves would put you at a disadvantage. However, Justin, being the enfranchised player that he is, has the reputation to speak for himself. He doesn't need his sleeves to speak for him. So the choice to run some extremely bland sleeves, actually potentially pretty strong sleeve play by him. Definitely not something that everyone can pull off, though.
Oh well, I've got to change my I've got to flip my prediction for the game then, because I thought the sleeves were opposite. I thought Jay was rocking the black, so we're gonna say that out of this game, early prediction from the commentary. You know, in real sports, you don't get to say who you think is gonna win. You could influence the way that you call the game. And that's distasteful for TV presentations. But I think Batman's gonna have it here.
You're really disappointed if you didn't.
Yeah, commentator's curse definitely a factor. So we will
Sorry,
see
Justin.
how they perform given these predictions.
Surprisingly. Kind of don't think he's legal.
So I know Jay is on judges here, and also on an interesting Canaanite defense. So
Canaanite.
Is there a way that we can do that
Canaanites
without
with
showing
orange
the other
splash.
person?
So fun fact, KOT, the old one.
This angled away from
Not
you.
sure what's going on here.
And I can confirm.
Oh, they're focusing the camera. It's like
We can see your hands.
old
They're
KOT.
empty. They don't quite have the belt yet. You got to earn it, guys.
Old KOT is in fact a Canaanite. So there is a fortress that says something along the lines of if occupied and all of your evil characters are Canaanites, negate heroes. So it's effectively half of a CWD on a fortress that just requires that you're playing Canaanites. The Canaanite demons also have some strong
Uh-oh. Look here, we're getting some
Opening
inside
hand.
knowledge. Auto in the opening hand. Did you see that?
Yep, I saw that. So it looks like we also got some dominance for both players, some souls for both players. So it looks like there's
That's a 3, it looked like. And it looks like Justin's going to be going first, or getting to the side. Who's going first?
Now, going first, however, we do have from Jay a female only and I believe that's a cannot be rescued the first turn that it's in play. So
From the Angel Wars. Just like to shout that out.
So Justin may not actually be able to make a rescue here, depending on what he has. Could make the choice to go auto to Deborah.
He's going auto for sure.
A less powerful attacking option, but would give him access to the female-only soul.
Can you tell what soul that is that he just drew in?
That's Wanderer, so that allows him to, in his preparation phase, exchange that soul for any other soul. So if he had drawn that earlier, he would be able to exchange. Oh, nope. So it looks like he's opting to go for Jer, preferring the increased speed over the possibility of getting a soul on the first turn. Looks like he's playing it slow and safe. Typical Justin playstyle. We'll see if that pays off for him. Benaya coming out as well, so not straight judges with Angels. Looks like, all right.
You know that doesn't work the same way, right?
And now we see why there's a Benaya. So provisions coming out. Those who are used to modern cards may not know that there's a rule that set-aside cards target. For my fellow commentator who may have started playing more recently, set-aside cards that target only your characters can be played effectively as though they were territory class, and in fact circumvent the one territory class per turn rule. So provisions here specifically sets aside a hero for 2 turns. When it comes back, you can draw cards, and the next time that hero attacks, you get to choose the blocker.
This is a strong angel, and I can't see what the card was that he played side.
Yeah, neither can I. All right, so we see Martyred right off the bat. So like we mentioned in the first game, those 5 of the numbers angels pretty much demand answers right off the bat. So
and they got one that time.
He did have it. So TSA down, but also Martyr down from Justin. So that's our first Dom block out of the way. And that's really exactly kind of what you want to see from a TSA.
Oh, there it is, the Hezekiah signet ring. Now, I even know what this does.
What does it do? Tell us what it is.
It keeps you from being able to search your draw pile.
And your discard pile.
And discard as well. There's an exchange of souls
we see the
with the Wanderer.
Now he has access and to both of the opponent's souls. So
now how quickly do we think Jay's going to get a female in play for it? The women's only, or female only also.
Good question. Fortunately, he doesn't really need to, given he's got a couple other attacking options. All right, so are we going to see a Jer for more speed, or are we going to see, all right, Gideon for a more powerful attack? So it looks like Justin is confident with the card he's got in his hand and is ready.
You know he's got it. Dude, for us talking about how this was going to be a much slower format, man, it just hits. Straight into the battle, back and forth.
Yep. All right.
And there it is, KOT.
KOT coming out. 5 of the numbers, evil character. All right.
Angel.
So
Martyr and Angel down for Justin now.
We've seen.
But there is a soul on the board now. So it's 1-0.
1 5 of the numbers character exchanged for 1 dominant by each player. However, Justin is up a soul and has a counter card in the form of HSR in play and has a provisions waiting in the wings.
Yep.
So definitely looks like the advantage is leaning Justin right now.
And this seems to be similar with, all of the accounts of his play style that I have heard about. Accumulate a few resources, try to control the board state, and let that just methodical pace take over instead of trying to force the issue.
All right. Looks like
he would have had to answer quickly.
he found the female. So even though Justin does currently have the tempo advantage here, Jay is not really behind a full turn. He's just behind he's on the back foot tempo-wise. So as long as he can rescue a soul here, he won't be too far behind. So yeah, other thing to note, it looks like Jay just set aside some defense in the corner. So Justin dropping a damsel, giving up initiative in order to draw extra cards. Maybe he wanted the extra cards. Maybe he didn't have an evil character capable of getting initiative. And it looks like Jay did not have anything to back that up with. That's not really what you want to see there.
Batman takes a hit there.
Counter here, 2 turns. Moses is back. From being the provision.
Surprised to see if he didn't have any backup. Surprised to see that he didn't attack with the Moses there. That would have prevented a damsel from getting her ability off and would have made it more likely that he could push something through. Possibly didn't want to risk giving up the Moses, but if Justin is able to get another soul here, then Jay could be starting to fall a bit too far behind in tempo.
Yeah. What does provisions do once it comes back?
So once it comes back, so you draw 2 cards, I believe, and then the next time that the character with provisions attacks, they choose the blocker.
Okay, so
it's a one-time thing.
Okay, so they just pick up the ability, draw 2, pick up the ability to choose a blocker.
Yep. So Moses having the choose the blocker ability, pretty strong, given that he can now, if Jay ever puts a small character down, we have a fight by the numbers character capable of forcing a small character to block him.
Man, they are just swapping it around.
Yep, Justin definitely getting the better end of Wanderers, keeping all of the good souls to himself.
Can I read the tower, please?
And
All right, so he does have the Tower of Thebes down. So that's while occupied negate heroes in effect. So Jared turned off, Benaiah turned off, Moses turned off.
In Modern Redemption, a Wanderer probably you see at exchange how many times? Definitely not like this, to where you're going through these turns so much faster, so much quicker pace as far as the turn clock. So definitely maximizing that value from that soul.
Sorry.
Yep. Also in Modern Redemption, things like woes you're able to exchange and then negate its ability, so that it can't be exchanged back. Because in this format, it's pretty much going to go back and forth until somebody can rescue it.
My deck is random at the moment, but I know what that top card is now.
Give it a show. Just quick.
Sorry about that.
Now it is worth noting that
Tower of Thebes was Lot's wife.
what Justin is doing with his discard pile, stacking it, is technically not within the actual rules. That was one of the things that they made it a point last tournament season in official tournaments, but this is not official.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we can do what we want. So just letting you guys out there know that if you notice that and you like that because you can just glance over and see it, don't do that. Because technically, Hezekiah's signet ring hits you as well as your opponent, correct?
Oh, no, it is actually one-sided.
It's just one-sided? Oh, okay.
Yeah, very strong card. So we see a Lot's daughter here banding to the damsel, giving us a peek at Justin's hand. Definitely got a lot of resources going on over there. We'll see if Jay can pick up enough of a speed advantage off of this stolen damsel to make a comeback here.
And whoever wins this matchup is going to be facing Tyler. So
My turn.
Oh,
You get
few
potentially in hands.
Just like in general.
all right, so we see what looks like an Aaron put down.
All right, Justin continuing to develop more strong attacking options. However,
There's the live Cole.
you can only attack with do one attack per turn, so developing more different attacking options not necessarily going to contribute to him winning any faster.
It is interesting to note that Jay has the Lot's wife, I believe that is that card, and that has an open banding. He can potentially use what is the old version called? Not the Divining Damsel, but the Damsel with the Spirit of Divination.
Yep.
To get some resources that way on a block. But he's got a handful of cards. It's just the board presence isn't there. But we also can't see what all he's got set to the side.
Judge. Can I discard?
No,
this?
we didn't have a sideline reporter for you.
Down. Like our site's on.
John Earley just walked in, fresh off of his
Yeah, it's an on.
round one.
So I can do that.
It's the
Beat down.
multi-gates.
Beat down.
So I can just like I can just
Of
discard
the
it
play-in.
whenever I feel like it to catch
Dude.
a hero in a territory and give it.
He put some stuff in his deck.
He did. He put some fire. I loved it.
When he showed it,
Because I guess because if it was otherwise, it would say when you play this.
he showed it to me and it had self. I was like, that seems odd. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about that.
I loved his rationale for it. It made a ton of sense. He played it really well.
And then the Great Morning, I was like, I drafted that in booster. I didn't even use it, but the way he used it in y'all's game.
All right, Jephthah coming out from Jay, sniping these couple evil characters. We'll see if Justin has any more blocks waiting in hand.
He's packing the Uzza, you know it.
If he's got anything here, pretty good odds that he gets a block. Not a lot of support for red heroes in a judge's offense, but if he was able to snipe Justin's only 2 evil characters, then this could be a freebie. He's thinking about it, so it looks like we're probably not going to see a walk-in here.
There's the Gomer.
All right, Gomer coming out. Chooses to band to his own evil character.
Let's see what.
I am creator, played for number.
I am creator.
Good trick.
Not quite the way it was getting played when I came into the game.
Yep.
When
Okay.
it
We
was
see
expanded.
end of battle. That end up getting an actual, real, strong evil enhancement played to block a Jephthah. Pretty good value.
Yeah, so still me.
Even though there was no soul rescue, that was a good value trade by Jay. Not sure if it's going to be enough for him to get.
There's the falling away.
Falling away.
So he won't get locked out with a guardian at any point. But I wouldn't think that Justin probably has guardian.
But he's the guardian. He has to have it, right?
He doesn't have to. This whole buildup of this thing has been about trying to play mind games, talking about what you might play, and then you see everybody's just on the judges stuff.
Speaking of cards that Justin has to run, we see an Erm and Thurum coming down, letting him see Jay's hand and allowing him to decide how he wants to attack. So Jay's got some good blocking options here. We see a Cicera, which makes your enhancements cannot be negated when blocking any gold or red hero.
Exchange for CBP.
We haven't seen it if he has any good answers for
Not a swap for the
captain of
Wanderer.
the host. So Justin knows if Jay's got the answers for captain, but we don't.
The rescue attempts. There.
And another interesting development, Justin is packing an RBD.
Slots away.
Initiative.
That felt significant in first game we watched. But
It definitely did. All right, and then we see the provisions paying off. So Justin being able to snipe the prevented Lot's wife, denying it the ability to ban, and taking that off the board.
Yeah. But that rain becomes dust in the first game, even though it made Marc play around it, he was able to, in the end, work around it enough to win the game. Be interesting to see if Jay has similar ability to work around it.
Yep, we'll see. Now, in that game, the RBD was on the side of the person who was behind. In this instance, Justin not only is the player who's already got the tempo advantage, but also the RBD. So Justin's ahead and making it much harder for Jay to catch up in terms of raw card advantage. So Jay is going to have to pull off some interesting tricks with fewer cards. We'll see if this Canaanite defense allows him to do that.
Yep.
So lone Moses attack here. Gomer plus Balaam representing enough numbers to block the Moses. So either Jay's bluffing or he's got something in hand that's going to allow him. Interesting. So Justin has knowledge of what's in Jay's hand. So he knows that Jay does in fact have something to play on that Moses to get through the Gomer plus Balaam, and knows that he doesn't have anything to answer it. So we do see Jay picking up a freebie here, evening the tempo.
So you were helping Jay craft his deck for this, correct?
So I was until he switched to an entirely different deck that I have nothing to do with. So
you haven't played this deck?
No, I have not. There was a great deck that he was going to run that I did help with that is now irrelevant.
Oh, there it is. 2 free ones.
All right, so the RBD did not prevent him from getting to his Son of God Near Jerusalem. Could be big. That quick burst of tempo could allow him to try and squeeze a couple more in before Justin is able to find his own dominance. So definitely looking like Jay's still got odds to win here. Could go either way. All right, we see a plot and some gold backup, and we do see the Prince of Persia, I believe, one of the Canaanite demons drawing against angels. So probably not going to see any walk-ins by a captain of the host from Justin here.
I'm gonna capture.
So Canaan, the site coming into play here. So the site allows you to give a Canaanite to your opponent and capture a hero from their territory. So it looks like Jay is wanting to remove one of Justin's attacking options. So he's already made the captain of the host pretty much irrelevant with the Prince of Persia. He's taken out the angel of a secret name, denying him the ability to go find other judges and make his judges.
And there's the magic charms.
Yep. So not going to see any more Moses walk-ins by Jay with that charms in play. But Jay is making, okay, there comes a auto. That's definitely not what Jay was wanting to see if he's trying to remove good attacking options. Auto Gideon on the table. Chooses to choose Walker instead and chooses Sisera. So giving his opponent enhancements, but looks like given the hand knowledge from Aaron Thurum, Justin knew that he didn't have anything to back that up. So
now it's 3-2.
Yep.
And Justin has not played the 2.
Yeah, Justin's pet Aaron Thurum actually showing its power here, allowing you to make some pretty risky plays without them being risky at all. Practitioner of Curious Arts coming out. So it looks like we've got Justin running a Magician's defense similar to what Marc was running. All right, Falling Away coming down. So hopefully neither of these players are running Guardian because now they would be useless considering that Falling Away has come out from both players.
And that evens it up at 2-2, but not really.
Yep, because Justin has not used his dominant rescues yet. So, in fact, assuming that Justin can find them, this is actually a 4-2 game.
And he just used Angel to go ahead and get rid of the magic charms.
Yep, Angel coming down in territory, not being used to directly win a battle, but effectively being used to win a battle, because otherwise that charms would have been a block at some point in the game, most likely. So now we have the Moses walk in again, now that the charms has been removed. We'll see if Justin has found an answer for this. He didn't have one last time. Looks like he's going for something.
Yep.
And that's just going to be an end the battle.
And he's checking the discard.
Yeah, Wonders Forgotten is an in the battle that comes along with the bonus ability to banish 4 good cards. So it looks like he's gonna take away some of Jay's dead judges, denying him the opportunity to pull them back out of discard pile with any of the swapping angels.
Your sideline reporter is confirming there is a tower with a Bez off to the side of Jay's playmat that you can't see. It is not occupied currently.
Good to know.
That is good to know. Now, what does that do?
So that's the excellent question. That is the
I'm here for you guys listening.
That's the reason to be running a mono Canaanite defense, allowing you to put one of your Canaanite evil characters in it, and while it is occupied, negates all hero abilities on both sides of the field.
Okay, so that's what you hinted at the beginning.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So it looks like a pile full of gold good enhancements and a suicidal swine stampede, and that Prince of Persia still camping out in hand.
It's hard to tell what that last one is, but it looks like it might have a.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably a Heyman's plot.
Which, if we can see Jay rip a plot here, we'll get to directly compare the style and, you know, technique of doing it the proper way, like John did, or doing it the Jay way.
Yeah, definitely interesting to compare various ripping styles of long-term players. Grail coming out here, an excellent removal tool that I'm surprised we haven't seen more of already. Given that Jay was opting not to occupy his Tower of the Bez, probably means that he was a little bit limited on available evil characters, and now we see Grail removing them. So we know there's a Prince of Persia in Jay's hand, but not much else. So Justin knows that, opting for the lone Aaron play. Usually you see Aaron banded to Moses.
Like with the feel of this game where it's at currently, Josh, who do you think has the best odds of pulling it out from this point forward?
Justin definitely has been in the driver's seat of this game. Now, not nearly been as okay.
Oh, there it is.
Here goes.
Okay.
Yeah, the big thing was just,
Hey, call judge. NJ hit first.
I didn't see
So it looks like
so much.
the revenge tour will continue. Justin got his revenge.
Also, not tanking her was a mistake.
Oh, no, he's coming for more revenge. He's got to find out somebody else. The tour doesn't end.
Put her in the tower.
Yeah. But I mean, really, I had a path, but it depended on.
So again, we see a game strongly impacted by strong opening starts plus impactful support cards.
I didn't have the defense.
RBD now on the side of the
Yeah, I made one
player that was ahead rather than the player that was behind, causing the game
I
to
didn't put
close
the
out
Aaron
even
down,
faster.
and you went Lop's way
Yeah.
to Damsel.
It
I mean, unless you
it
do
is
something
nice
for
being
Lop's
able to
way.
see at least one person continue the legend of the van that they wanted to brag about in Discord.
The band.
So I wonder who's winning over on the other side.
That's what
And we have a
depends if you choose
sideline
something to
reporter
play
down
off
there
of
that's
Lop's
able-
way, but I don't think
Come on,
you can
guys,
play.
where are we at?
No, I
We
didn't
need to
have
know. Let me pull up
a
Twitch.
single black enhancement, and I run a bunch.
Yeah,
But look at that. It's just bad right there.
yeah. It was,
It's just bad beats. That's what happens.
I got it right here, buddy.
all right, cool. GG's.
It's
Jeez.
4 and 5. Oh, that's not souls.
Do you like my I Am Creator play?
I'm trying to think.
Just one on.
Could have like
Oh,
captured
2 for Brian.
shenanigans.
I played I Am Creator.
That was
like
that was a good
2
use
right
of it.
there.
I had to burn.
So it looks like it's 2-2 in that matchup.
I didn't even.
Yep. So it looks like in the other matchup we have Jayden on judges, very similar to what we've seen the rest of the field playing, and Brian Jones on his good old trusty throne deck.
Especially Moses on my rescue.
Maybe. I mean, also eye capturing Kanan.
I think we gotta go discuss out there.
So in the off-screen game, Jayden Alstad pulls ahead with his third soul rescue with an audio Gideon attack. Interesting deck building decision by Jayden. We see Crimson being his defensive choice, unlike the Canaanites or the Magicians that we've seen so far. Also looks like Jayden has included a little bit more teal than the standard splash package. He's running an Ezekiel, and so Ezekiel plus the Crimson cards on the defense, likely hinting in the fact that he's running the dual alignment green crimson enhancements, giving him some extra flexibility.
So we've got the game between Brian and Jayden pulled up on our monitor here. So while we, they'll drop some dominance immediately. And,
yep.
that's going to end it right there.
Jayden
5-4. Jayden has won. Jayden has beaten Brian Jones to advance to the round of 4. It was 5-4. They were at 2 and 3 respectively, and each dropped their 2 free ones.
So Fortress Alstad survived the first round. So far, other than our first
survived.
Survived fully intact.
Okay, there you go. I think Justin did pretty good. I think he handled his and was in control throughout the whole game.
Oh, absolutely.
So, very, very. I don't know what word I'm going for here, but definitely the way people describe him being in control and being one of those players that value control throughout a game with the hard counter of the Hezekiah Signet ring, and then the rain becomes dust.
Yep. Other than our surprise upset in round 1, we've seen the higher seed player pull through in pretty much, I think, every other game. So will be interesting to see how Marc does against some of these other higher seeded players. We'll see if he's able to repeat his upset or if he's going to fall to the slow, methodical play of Justin or the varied options Jayden's Alstad deck builder.
If we look at our bracket, it would be Justin now playing against Tyler, 2 and 3, and then the 8 and the 4 seed, where it would have been 1 and 4. So that's going to put Marc against Jayden. Be interesting to see how that goes, and we see that this table was full of similar decks to what we've already seen. There's a little bit of purple on Brian's side, green. So he was definitely doing a little bit of what people expected for him, it seems like. Maybe not so much the judges' stuff, but I think judges are probably going to be involved in the other decks, assuming Tyler's on some type of judges. Seems like maybe all 4 might have judges
Yep.
elements in it.
Looking like judges were the correct pick here for this tournament, given that the non-judges players. Okay, sideline reporter confirming that Tyler is not quite on the standard judges. So we did see one more non-judges player making it into the second round.
By God, that's Stone Cold's music. Stone Cold coming to the table after beating Ron Sias and giving him a stunner in the first round. What's up?
keep it then. I came down, we were pretty sure Jay had a tower, but you couldn't see the tower on stream.
Yeah.
We saw that.
Oh, here we go. It's like we're we have some activity sitting down at the table.
Could very well be.
We're kind of working blind here, so we're only able to see the feed that you guys see.
We play it online.
The information still says round one,
Dead space.
but this is definitely not round one. This is
If you
round
put
two.
anything over here, just
And it's going to be Justin Alstad on the right side with Tyler on the left side. Now, Tyler's cards are not showing it to us. That is his sleeves. That is a picture of Mr. John Earley from the early days when he used to take a picture with his koala. Those are his sleeves.
Mostly just set aside my evil
So,
characters to gain one a turn.
Troll game,
Scrolls
100%.
only.
Tyler
That's
Stevens.
how you play it.
Yeah, we see that offset by Justin continuing to use the Stone Cold
Ways to
black
spice this up in
sleeves.
the future. So when we could go.
No emotion, just ruthless efficiency.
Limited profit
Ruthless
women's only.
efficiency, I like it.
Well, we have choices.
Yeah, I'm busy that week.
You're busy that weekend. Me too.
In this matchup,
Mr. Vintage.
it's going to be interesting to see
Yeah. I mean, that's
how these two styles match up.
Yeah, very interesting to
Just do
see
foils.
what Tyler
Play foils only.
included in his decks. It seems like it's going to be
Priest down,
more
foils only.
variety decks. I just flashes for season.
That's ugly.
Well, you know what that is? That's when we all show up with Old Faithful.
Also seems that, and I mean, I like that they're giving us the 2-3 here on this stream so that we get to pick up Tyler since we've already seen, we saw a little bit of Jayden there at the end. And we saw Marc in the first round. But now we can fully see what Tyler's deck's going to look like.
That I will play.
And he seems to be a player that really values aggressively gathering resources.
63?
Not that Justin's not going to aggressively at times, but not quite to the same level in my mind. It'll be interesting to see how they both set up early on, whether one of those hard counters come down quickly for one side or the other.
These words up.
That's freak with an A.
Yeah, a capitalized.
It's a lowercase f, capital R, lowercase e, capital A.
Why? Because the 90s, baby, or early thousands. That's why.
And
2000.
I thought maybe
Yeah, it was
the
like
playmats would play into this, and the winner would always be on the threshing floor. But we've seen a winner from each side, so
None of them up there.
actually no, we haven't. Threshing floor is lost, both of them.
That's true.
The threshing floor has lost. Flip them playmats, guys. Flip those playmats. Come on, man.
We'll see once if Jayden can
can-
make it to claim his redemption with Jayden's side of the playmat, whether he'll prevail.
Can Tyler get the monkey off the threshing floor's back?
Good.
You guys ready?
Brian, what happened, man? What happened? Yeah, you got to hit him with it. Not right now. Threshing floor playmat has lost both of the opening round, and I think Tyler's going to bring it home, though.
All right, looks like we're getting started here. Looks like regardless of what his other deck decisions are, the soul lineups seem to be pretty standardized between all these decks.
Yes, and it seems like that.
High roll doubles.
I'm pretty sure that Angel War Soul has showed up in the opening hand in both of our first two games, and now here in the third game.
All right, Justin going to get to go first. We'll see if he can claim his tempo lead as solidly as he did against Jay.
I'll go first.
Each of these guys are just 2 wins away from being crowned the first ever Mr. Classic and bringing home that title belt.
Ooh, turn 1 RBD.
Ouch.
So now it looks like Justin also had another artifact in his opening hand. So low tempo support cards like that, not necessarily something that you want to see a lot of in your opening hand. However, RBD is such an impactful card that definitely strong for him.
I'll pass.
Tyler makes a play here.
All right, playing a negate and discard for the numbers. Looks like this is going to be a pretty low intensity first battle here. Looks like neither players have particularly strong characters.
It's a 140 character.
Does Justin have anything to push this attack through?
There he is. Mr. J. Chambers has just walked in, fresh off of his loss in the revenge tour to Justin Alstad. So he wanted to be Mr. Classic Weekend, but you guys, now he's just Mr. Weekend.
All right, so we see Eli's sound advice here, dropped for some card draw and some numbers.
We're at stalemate.
Yep.
I'll pass.
Man.
Looks like this stalemate's pull through. They didn't. The
Earn
Eli sound
resources
advice-
and nothing.
Yep. Didn't draw him into anything more. So Justin, so that's exactly what you can expect to see when you've got too many support cards in your opening hand. Not really a lot left over for battle resources. So we've got, this could be a slower game than we've seen, given that Justin both has a strong anti-speed card that's probably going to keep Tyler from shooting off into space here, but also not a lot of offensive resources himself. So we could potentially see both players dirtling around for a little bit.
Yeah. Would love to know if that artifact underneath is the one to let you look at the hand, Urim and Thummim, or if it is his other hard counter, Hezekiah's Signet Ring.
Yeah, I think, I believe Eli would be a priest, so if it was Ermin Thurim, probably would have seen it come out. All right, there's an auto, but unfortunately, yeah, not a lot of good that's going to do with the RBD down, at least speed-wise.
Verbal consent.
Guys, it is a miracle. There is some hope for the world. Jay Chambers just admitted that he was loud. I heard it with my own 2 ears.
All right, auto to deck for Gideon. So it looks like Tyler is opting to forego potential future speed in order to just get a solid attack through. We'll see if Justin is lacking defense resources in the same way that he was lacking offense.
Is the first one free with that opening hand? It looks like it.
Looks like it is.
And so that means he's either not got a strong character or he doesn't have anything to play on that character. And it'll be interesting to see if he gets anything beyond that draw 3 to try to make up.
All he needs is just one. If he gets an auto or a Jer, anything that can let him propel himself forward while the RBD keeps his opponent down, could quickly seal the future of this game.
Let's just take a sidebar. And what do you think about the new Redemption with Jayden logo, the revamped logo?
Oh, definitely. Okay, definitely an improvement. I think it's pretty cool looking, shiny and round. Now, so he did find the auto.
Yep, he definitely did. Who's he going to here?
Opting to go to deck. Might see a Jer if he wants the extra speed boost. Could see a Gideon for a strong, or
it is a
Moses. So it looks like he's opting for strong attacking option and decided that Moses would be more effective than a Gideon.
And this is without hand knowledge, so.
Yep. Not a bad choice, especially considering that he sent auto to deck. If the Gideon and Moses were both in hand and he wasn't having to give up the auto to deck, might have been better to keep the Gideon around, but Moses is going to be a lot stronger by himself in future turns than Gideon will be if he survives this battle.
Is that Wandering Spirit
Yep,
here?
Wandering Spirit coming down. So it looks like Tyler is running some sort of dedicated Demons defense.
Domination?
Yeah. That one got reprinted in GOC, but here we're seeing the original foil version and a Grapes of Wrath, it looked like.
Yep, so given that the players are, Justin is actually behind, so he is going to get to make another rescue if he wants, but we already know since last turn, he didn't really have a good other attacking option. All right, he found a captain, so that's definitely... Yep, and it's going to get a walk-in.
Yep.
So unfortunate for Tyler that Justin found not only the auto, but also the captain.
Now he's got secret name down, and it looks like Aaron.
Yep. So the Aaron in hand makes the Moses play make even more sense. So if the Moses had stuck around, then it would have been even stronger in future turns paired with that Aaron.
There's a hopper jumping around, and now he'll have the opportunity to do the Wanderer if he would like. You know the ability on that other soul that Justin has?
Yep, that's the NT only lost soul.
NT only.
So yeah, not a lot of options in judges to rescue it. If the players that are opting to run Simeon as a way to chain their Moses on top of another character, do have.
So it looks like he's thinking about it.
So Punisher lost soul. Surprised we haven't seen more of that coming in clutch for Tyler, given that's going to shut off the captain of the host, making him much easier to block.
And that's for 3 or more brigades, and he's sitting on 4.
Yep, more than 3 actually. So 3 brigades does not trigger Punisher, but
Yeah.
4 does. So he has exactly enough to enable it.
Sitting on 4.
So Tyler did find his way back to the auto that he sent into deck, so got the audio Gideon pair.
Oh. I couldn't tell if he was intending to exchange there, or I guess he was. But
all right, let's see. All right, Justin found his damsel.
He's going to get some information here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Justin loves to look at hands and get that knowledge before he makes his play.
Purple, red, gold, green, silver. That one doesn't count.
No, it's only good.
Good brigades.
Yep.
5,
3, 4, 5.
divination, and a directive.
So it looks like Tyler is running some purple here. So interesting inclusion.
That's 3, 4. And that's a soul. Looks like a draw 4.
Deborah's directive coming in, so probably about to see a massive band of some sort. All right, so Tyler's attack has the overwhelming numbers advantage. However, Justin is playing a more chumpy defense, so that many extra characters, not necessarily any more daunting than a bulletproof Gideon. It does force him to have some sort of chump here.
Yeah.
Looks like he does not
That's
have it.
not. And so he'll rescue the hopper here.
Yep.
And that's going to shift the score 2-1 in favor of Tyler, with no dominance being played yet.
So we've got Justin in the lead resource-wise, but Tyler managing to establish himself with a tempo lead regardless.
Yeah, the defenses that we've seen in these 3 games now so far has not been the defenses, for the most part, that are going to put characters on the table in big numbers. So it seems like the chumpy defense and having some of those in your deck seems to be a common thread.
Yeah, well, in recent Redemption, especially in GOC, printing such strong evil characters and enhancements that are able to go toe-to-toe with offenses is a relatively new phenomenon. In ye olden days, by design, defenses were inherently weaker than offenses to kind of bring the game to an inevitable conclusion. So that led to chump defenses being even more popular, since regardless of what defense you were running, it was pretty much inevitable that you would run out of blocks, so it might as well run jumps.
I am surprised that we have not yet seen anybody that, and I guess we've seen pretty much everybody at this point with that glimpse at Jayden's deck, but nobody running the Crimson stuff, the Babylonian, to use Nebuchadnezzar for some of those enhancements that add to battle.
Yep, probably going to see that in Jayden's deck if he makes it onto stream. So Jer coming down for some increased speed, but we just saw from Tyler's hand, it looks like that he's running quite a bit of the purple stuff. Looks like he probably has a throne package in here somewhere in addition to the judges. So it looks like he decided, rather than decide between judges and throne,
I'll play it all. And that's why, instead of it being Jay that's Mr. Greedy, Tyler's Mr. Greedy.
Yep, we'll see. That greed likely means that his defense is probably a little bit
Lighter.
So we'll see if he can string some stuff together here. So Ehud's dagger kills an enhancement or a king. Deceiving Spirit is neither of those things. So looks like this is just being played for mutual destruction numbers. All right, so it looks like Tyler did in fact have nothing to play there.
Here we are 2-2 with no dominance.
All right, Phineas coming down. Does he have the zeal to back it up?
It doesn't matter if you're playing Jay, right? It looks like Tyler has 6 cards in hand at this point. We can see that on the screen here. Justin keeping it more close vested. Hard to know what he has in his hand as far as number of cards.
All right,
but it's going to be one less here as he goes falling away. So he pulls that off and drops the score down 2-1 in his favor.
So, given that he's dropping evil characters and dominance, probably Justin is at a full hand.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So after that D3 for his opening hand, we've got Tyler at 9 cards in hand.
The Wanderer just getting massive work in this format. And we'll get rid of the Rain Becomes Dust with the
RBD
destruction.
has been answered, so Otto is free to draw. So this could be where Tyler starts to take over.
Now it looks like Justin has 2 cards face down there. So he might have found his other hard counter. So this might be a turn for Tyler to try to take advantage before he can put something else up.
Be playing a dominant.
Yep.
There's Christian Martyr on the auto.
Yep, doesn't want
outside of battle, so doesn't want to give him the resources there.
Always a painful play when you have to play Christian Martyr or Angel out of battle, but in this instance, as long as that auto stays alive, that Gideon isn't going to be martyrable anyway. So pretty much a forced play and probably a good call by...
There's King Solomon to look at the hand. Justin sitting on destruction here. He has, looks like Son of God.
He's got Son of God and New Jerusalem and Angel.
So it looks like this one might be nearing the end.
So this game could end on Justin's next turn. Tyler's going to have to put something. He's got a throne, so he's going to potentially find some extra resources here, but he's going to have to come up with a way.
He's going to need a mayhem or something.
Yeah, to block Angel, or the game is going to end.
It's definitely an uphill battle here for Tyler.
Okay, so I get to draw 3. You said hold on.
Gomer to Manasseh. Will he choose to sacrifice the Manasseh to bounce Solomon, or is he going to go for a more straightforward battle? If he doesn't choose to go for the bounce,
I think there was only one evil enhancement in this game. Do you remember?
There might be a plot in there. So it looks like he is going to go ahead with the straightforward battle, giving Tyler
I see a
off the
plot.
throne. Despite the Manasseh and Gomer being lower numbers, the throne does give Tyler a free play.
Tyler has
Valley of Salt,
Valley of
allowing
Salt.
him to discard X evil characters, X being his warrior class evil characters, so it's currently 3, which it happens to be the exact number to wipe Justin's defense. So
mini board wipe.
Yep. If Tyler can survive the Dom Rush on Justin's next turn, he may be in a good position here.
Have we seen falling away from Tyler yet?
That's an excellent question.
I can't remember, but I feel
I
like
can't
we
remember
did.
either.
Now would definitely be a good time if we have not seen that, but looks like he's passing turn.
Your turn.
Yep, pass turn.
All right, looks like Justin drew some more defense. Some time.
Tyler's absolutely got to have a block here. If he doesn't have a solid block here,
Yeah, we're going to see Fortress Alstad cruising forward.
let me see if I can take a sneak peek at the Twitch stream here.
Yeah, this.
Or actually, no, I think now that we're in this round, I think they're going to space them out to where we get all of them here.
Sweet. We could be looking at a Justin versus Jayden, brother versus brother, Fortress Alstad.
And we don't want that. We don't want that. Let's go, Mark. Let's go, Tyler. Something. Break it up a little bit.
So Justin does have the dominance in hand, but that Punisher, interesting decision that he chose not to exchange for the Punisher. He's decided that the CBP enhancement would be more dangerous than the Punisher. Oh, he's just gonna take the Punisher and the Wanderer. Makes sense. So he decided that he would rather have the CBP granting Lost Soul rather than the Punisher Lost Soul.
It's still going to be a pretty tight
And
turn
he
here.
flips up the HSR, so no searching deck or discard pile. And no reserve in this format, so Tyler has only the cards in his hand to block a Fight with the Numbers evil character backed up by an Angel of the Lord. Can he do it?
If this was a boxing match, Tyler is in the corner and he's grasping. He's trying to cling on to.
Oh, looks like he has something. All right. Well, fortunately, yeah, that's gonna.
That's gonna do it right there. Yep. I mean, is it just me or did Justin leverage every dominant that he had in that game to his advantage to pull that off? It seemed like that was very dominated.
Yep, I think
on his end.
Like I had a wheel to go to a Seraph to go to live coal, and I was going to get rid of RBD earlier.
Sometimes it comes down to what you draw. Sometimes it comes down to what you put in your deck.
But I should have just done destruction.
Yeah, that is definitely
Right.
the advantage of the Magician's offense is a lot of speed provided by the evil characters like Damsel with the Spirit of Divination and Divination, the enhancement itself, adding a lot of consistency. So Magician's definitely seeming to be one of, if not the strongest defenses in this format.
So Justin Alstad is the first participant in the final for the first ever Mr. Classic, putting out number 3 seed Tyler Stevens. But Tyler definitely gets a nod for top deck sleeves of the evening.
Knowing that last turn you had nothing.
Yeah, you don't block me there.
Oh yeah, definitely still
I'm just thinking
a solid showing by Tyler. Will be if Justin manages to make it through and become Mr. Classic with his bold blank black sleeves, that will be even more punishing for all of his opponents.
So menacing.
It's on the bottom. bottom.
Yeah, there was not, like, I literally had nothing. I drew
What size is yours?
63 with the D heavy.
It is, yeah, that looked a little big. Jeez.
Like, I didn't draw. I drew into that, and then you HSR'd. That was my draw 3. I didn't draw this. I drew this.
And that. Right at the end.
Yep, I drew that at the end. I drew into that, and that.
Right, yeah.
That was my defense.
When I saw your opening hand, I didn't see any of this.
Yep.
I knew you were in trouble.
Yep, me too.
This.
Yep, I opened my hand and saw that, and I was like,
Which is why I was shocked when you did.
And,
yep, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Those two and that one that.
Yep.
Did you end up playing that in battle for numbers at some point?
No, it's a 6-0.
Oh, right. For some reason I was thinking it was an 06.
I know.
Yeah, Dagger won a battle for with the number.
Yeah.
I saw that part. I saw
Yeah.
that part.
I was wondering if the people watching were going to be like, what just happened?
Yeah, the right move is just destruction and move on with auto. Like, that's the right move.
Yeah.
And that was an overthinking on my part.
You definitely had
Not
me,
like I don't think it mattered.
you definitely had me pegged on the podcast. Well, you had me half, like you said. Syrians. But you mentioned the magicians.
Syrians, magicians, teal. I said some sort of teal with Urim.
Yeah.
But you're just doing Eli and another?
Eli, Aaron, and Phineas. So I got Phineas Seal too.
Yep. Eli, Aaron, Phineas. And then by the numbers, and you're just hand looking on when you need.
Yep.
Classic Justin.
Yep. Know what the right play is and bluff if you have to.
Yep. Yeah, I knew when I had to do a Desperate Grapes. I was like, maybe he doesn't have a hero in his hand, and you drop the captain. I was like, I'm not winning this game.
Yeah, that was kind of the. Maybe you're supposed to give that one up.
I think you give that one up.
All right, so
Let yourself fall behind.
if you are still here with us, we have pulled up the Twitch
You
stream
just gotta buy time.
of Mark and Jayden.
When I look at your hand, there's that many dominants.
And there's a shaking hand,
There's no.
and it looks like Jayden has just pulled it out.
Nothing.
It looks like we're going to get Fortress Alstad in the final.
Wrong play.
Yep. Looks so 5-1 victory by Jayden. It looks like. Unfortunately, probably we didn't catch.
I knew Jayden was gonna find a way to make it into the final.
But it looks like Mark's big payoff, big risk cards may not have paid out for him.
Yeah,
as well as it did.
that'll be a good one to go back and watch and see how the opening set up.
Look at those guys.
No, they're done.
Oh,
They just finished.
so Big Dan is guaranteed to take it home.
Correct.
Yep.
And I'm gonna take a water break.
Yeah. Take as much time as you need.
Gatorade, take that. Which day?
Huh?
Gatorade. Purchase one.
Yep.
Get online.
Are we playing for this game?
Yeah.
I guess it's up to Mark and Tyler. My question is more, do we need ice cream stuff still? Because I was thinking about going and having dinner with my wife.
Why don't you go for dinner if you want?
All right. Well, that's not what the,
You can just close my
Get them in line, otherwise lose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're just gonna mutual draw.
no.
Yeah, I can pass that.
Why?
He's the higher seed.
He just wants his mat, that's all.
Just wanna use my playmat.
Hey, I'm 2-0 on this side. You think I'm gonna give that up?
We switch playmats?
And I have an excuse if I lose, right?
Not sure.
Well, you get that one, I get mine.
I don't know, Hendricks might be upset. Not having his on for the championship game.
That's my deal. Which one did you want to
So if we
use?
get knocked out, are we allowed to join the commentators?
Nice.
Whereabouts are they?
I'm adding this to my deck. Tyler left his magical. There it is.
All the mob.
It's going on the same wall. It's good.
Going on the same wall either way.
No matter what, the belt will be in Minnesota for the next year.
It's just for bragging rights, pretty much.
I might just let him win so he has to wear it. All day. Sure. That's good.
I'm gonna take off my dinner with my wife, to be honest with you. What? I'm gonna take off my dinner with my wife. Yeah. But I think you should do that. I think that's awesome. And not that I'm salty at all. I'm already over it. And it's coming home in the van.
All right, here we are in the final four, the first ever Mr. Classic. It's going home to Minnesota. Who is carrying it home? Is it going to be Justin Alstad, the Guardian?
I mean, you can take
Jayden.
solace knowing that it's still coming back.
So now
with you,
we
even
saw
if you didn't.
the threshing floor
you know,
playmat lost
nothing.
again, and Jayden has not in fact claimed his own playmat side of the table. Justin.
Can someone
remaining seat.
radio down there to him and tell him that he's sitting on the? He doesn't get to choose anyway. 'Cause he's the lower seed.
Yeah, so we may see Jayden lose to the playmat.
The playmat curse is a real thing.
Oh,
So you were
absolutely.
just looking at it just to mess with them.
Absolutely.
If for those watching at home, if you ever make it to top table and there's a playmat set out in front of you, bring your own playmat anyway. Put it on top of the other one. You have no idea what curses may be on that playmat.
You have no idea. You should exercise those demons.
And didn't make the cuts.
It's like your sideboard if we had done 2 out of 3.
Yes.
Looks like Jayden's got himself some new fancy logo sleeves to go with his new fancy playmat. Unfortunately, not going to see them on top of each other for this tournament.
As long as his milkshake's not bringing stuff. There he is. Community wild card, knocked it out, first round. Mark's just walked in to join us here in the players' hall for the players that are no longer playing. We also have Tyler that's here.
He got a shot of it, and then I think he's taking it.
All eyes on the screen as we watch to find out who is going to win this between the two brothers.
Looks like we're seeing some prize support.
Was this one of each
All
ultra rare?
of, yes, all of the classic ultra rares.
And I did
Let me win.
How cool is that?
have Mr. John Earley's wife ask me who,
Courtesy
or
of
tell me that she did not know who she should root for. The brothers are for her husband. I did tell her to go with the brothers. That way you only make one person mad instead of two.
your turn game.
And if she did that, then she's happy right now. So her brothers are in the final here. So now we have to decide who we think is going to win this. I want to hear you call it, Josh. Who do you think is going to win this?
Oh, I don't know if I can call it, but I will say Jayden has definitely been the one on a tear recently.
Let's read the room. How about we ask the room real quick? All right, raise your hand if you've got Justin. If you think Justin's going to win, raise your hand.
We should do our opening hands and figure out who wins based off that.
Got a decent number. If you think Jayden's going to win, raise your hand.
Good luck. Figure out our optimal place.
I think Justin won it.
Yep. So
On the
looks
prediction.
like the peanut gallery has this called in favor of Justin.
I think they went with a playmat, though. I think they were using that to base their knowledge.
Yeah, definitely a safe call, considering that we've seen Justin's been the one on camera winning in
Can we
front of
cut
all
the
these
belt
people
in
back
half?
to back.
Can we do it Solomon style?
And those sleeves are undefeated as well. The black sleeves are undefeated at this point.
All right, you guys can get.
We'll see if Jayden's fancy custom sleeves are enough to pull out a victory.
We've got a revealer on both sides. We've got a hopper on Jayden's side, and a couple of more. One's New Testament only. What's the one beside the New Testament only?
That's the if no covenant's active, then the first evil
I
names
inadvertently drew
cannot be
9.
printed.
Okay.
So look, we've seen surprisingly little drought this game. There's less consistency in this format. So unlike Mono Redemption, you can see drought happen more often. It looks like players' decks have been speedy enough that it's not been a problem.
too.
I believe it was this one because I drew to replace Revealer, and this is the one that I saw.
So put that back on top.
Okay. Should I shuffle then?
So while we have seen
So what is
every
it?
deck
Yep.
just be pretty fast, and games definitely not timing out.
Yep.
It is worth noting that Justin is the higher seed, which means if this game ends in a tie, Justin will be crowned Mr. Classic.
So, yeah.
You can start.
All right, we've
I
got the
can
dice
start.
roll, and now we've got a decision.
We're gonna do souls.
In the old school days when these cards were around
Yeah, those
So it looks like
and active, you would have had Jayden making the decision based on Lost Souls here.
hoppity.
Yep, looks like Justin opting to go first.
Live coal that I saw.
There's a live coal. And what was the other one?
Samuel's eating at the bottom.
There you go.
Could be relevant.
That definitely could be relevant. Not relevant enough for me to know what it is just from seeing a glared picture of it, but
All right,
relevant enough.
Justin continues his streak of dropping counters turn one.
Oh,
Also
and the
got
magic charms early. And Guardian.
And Guardian. All right.
Ooh.
Turns out Guardian is in fact running Guardian.
I mean, makes sense.
The only question is, does he have any offense? Looks like the answer is no. So he has entrenched himself in a very strong defensive position. Jayden opting not to discard to the Confusion Mind. So either he's got some other way of dealing with it, he doesn't have the spare resources to discard, or he's just not worried about it.
Definitely interesting to see how this plays out on this first rescue attempt. Knowing that the charms are over there.
All right, he's got the Ehud, able to force the Manas. Oh, but the Ehud is negated by Confusion of Mind.
Gotcha.
Judge, he's trying to trick me.
It's a shaky play early on to not catch that.
The question, did he attack with the Ehud, or is he just putting in territory?
I don't know, it looks like Justin was getting ready to block, and he does, so
Yep.
we're in battle.
You're interested.
And there's the Nebby.
Yep, there it is. So the only
the
player
play?
that we've seen playing the old Nebby lets you search through your entire deck for any Old Testament Crimson card and add it to your hand or directly to battle.
It does, importantly, while Hezekiah's Signet Ring is not up. So,
Yep, so we see a side battle created here. Also worth noting that curse that we see in the bottom of the screen is go into captivity, which is if your warrior class evil character is in battle, you may discard this card to capture a hero. So it could be used while one of your warriors is blocking to simply discard the hero in battle, or could be used for territory removal.
from this position, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly Justin can establish some offense here.
Yep, this game could come down to whether if Justin finds an Otto Gideon or a Jair here, then he's going to be off to the races. But if he continues to sit behind a bunch of defense, eventually Jayden will build up too much of an advantage to be overcome simply by counter cards.
Yeah, the side battle with the Nebuchadnezzar shows you Jayden sitting on at least some defense he's willing to wager here.
Looks like he opts for the Balam. That's going to prevent all enhancements in this battle. So we'll see what he opts to play. Probably going to want to go for something cannot be prevented. He goes for the sword. Now it discards an opposing character in battle.
Oh, so he gets rid of the charms without using it. I think we just saw Christian Martyr in Justin's hand there, maybe, but not using it. It was a quick flash. See a couple more souls added to the table here.
Oh, that's right.
Looks like Punisher and the one that makes it CBP.
I think it's Covenant Break.
Adding another artifact, could be another counter, or it could be Urim and Thummim.
Yep, we can see he's got a bunch of defense in his hand. Looks like a teal enhancement as well, maybe a zeal. No heroes, so passes back over.
Not where you want to find yourself in the final round here, struggling for a hero.
Yep, so Justin's heavy inclusion of counters has gotten him to this point, but maybe at this point he finally
There's the Ezekiel.
got his clunky opening. Yep, Ezekiel comes out. Drawn Sword already gone, so that's one of the 2 enhancements that Ezekiel makes cannot be negated. However, we still have 1 remaining deck somewhere.
Uzzah. Sure. Oh, going with a plot here.
Yep, not opting to discard, but rather just going out to play a plot. Wiping the Ezekiel and the Nebuchadnezzar off.
Look here, Jay. You see it? He folded first. That's our second plot we've seen ripped. Justin and Jayden admiring it there, adding it up and making sure it is close to equal.
Tucks it into his sleeve for a later inspection.
You'd hate to have the decision of this game reversed because he didn't rip it in half exactly.
Oh, absolutely. You'd hate to see it.
You would hate to see that. That's almost like failing the performance-enhancing drug test afterwards and knowing that you were on Monster Energy drink during the matchup.
I heard they actually dropped that test recently after realizing that they were able to determine the presence of performance-enhancing drugs in a player's system purely by watching how they rip their plots.
Oh, that's... Save a lot of money on the test.
All right, he's got the auto.
Here he goes, pushing with auto, getting the draw 2.
Good hero to find when you're struggling for some.
Now, who do you think he's going here? You think he's going to the Gideon play?
Good question. Given that he's struggling for offense right now, he might opt for a Jer to get an extra speed boost. But maybe he already found everything else he needs and he opts for the Gideon. So we see a Chaldeans, and okay, he does opt for the Jer. Looks like he decided he would rather dig for more resources. So we see a Chaldeans in play, which has the ability to get rid of that confusion of mind, and looks like a bunch more defense. So given that we saw a Jer digging for more resources and a bunch of defense in Jayden's hand, likely not going to see a soul for Just in this battle, but we'll see what he gets off of the Jer.
Look. What's up? Look.
All right, we see a Nurgle Sharzer come down.
And if you have another Babylonian in play, that does make your enhancement CBN.
Yep.
Look at me knowing stuff.
Captures the Jer, denying him future resource advantage from it.
Puts a Moses down. So he at least found one more hero to use.
Oh, good.
Yep, although that Moses kind of hard countered by that Nurgle, given that it's a 7/7 into the 8/8, so you're going to get initiative, and the modifier allows you to pretty much ignore Moses' abilities. So Moses probably not going to make many rescues while that Nurg is on the field.
Are you surprised that we haven't seen more like Samuel included in these judges' builds?
Well, Samuel's banned, so.
Oh, that's right. There you go. That makes sense. That makes sense. I was thinking about the Meek one because I saw it in Booster today. And I was like, okay. So
I think
they could have played the Meek one.
If Samuel was legal, then we probably would have seen a lot more throne decks.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the search for the.
That's okay.
David
I tried
one.
to put Ephesian Widow in my type 2
But
deck.
searching for David with that one, the Davids aren't very good in this format, right?
Say again?
The one that searches out like David, that is banned.
Yeah.
That one, the Davids that they can search for in this scrolls only format aren't really good Davids, right?
No, they're not, but Sam's still kind of busted. So Jer is a great replacement, though, getting a D2 and auto into the D2 on Jer whenever possible. No auto for Jayden, but he did find the Jair.
Going with the Uzza here.
Skirting.
And he's getting rid of
RBD from hand.
hand.
Interesting decision.
Valuing that
Yeah.
instead of confusion.
Valuing the confusion over the RBD. Still only one soul rescued by other players. So as far as speed of soul rescuing, this has been one of our slower games so far.
It's an Alstad versus Alstad. What do you expect?
We could see we could still see a tie with Seed coming into play here. Would be some sweet justice for Jayden finally being on the receiving end of a Seed-based advancement rather than the losing end. Although he's already gotten his vengeance for that, knocking Jay out earlier in this tournament.
Activate Grail. Target Nurgle.
Grail coming down, probably going to
Man,
remove the nerf.
got autographed.
Steel. Red.
Yep, now that Moses is a lot more potent. Probably going to see an attack with that this turn, given that he's clearing out potential counters for it.
That's the ultimate flex card in this format, right? Having an autographed.
Absolutely. All right, found the auto. We're going to see an auto Gideon or an auto Moses. I'm leaning towards auto Moses, given the Grail. Oh, he's going to hand. Auto Ehud.
Okay.
Let's go to Grail. What'd you have down?
2 characters.
Oh, that's mine. I thought that was you had that too.
Yeah, I believe Chaldeans requires only that another Babylonian is in play, not necessarily that it is an evil Babylonian.
So that's going to cost him his grail.
That lean forward by Justin may have indicated this was not what he was expecting to happen.
Good observation there.
All right, and he's, yeah, so that Ehud play did not quite work out. Yep.
There's falling away.
You're back to 0-0. And this is a true 0-0 since we've got the Guardian down. So even if Jayden does find his falling away, it's not going to do anything. So we've pretty much reset back to the start for both players.
Man, it'd be awesome to see a new beginning play on screen here. Throw the whole kitchen sink at him.
All right, we've got an Aaron, so he could be banned into the opponent's Moses, and a Zadok Anoint Solomon, allowing him to search his deck for any Old Testament good card with a brigade other than Teal, I believe.
You just know on Justin's next turn, one of those cards face down is going to be the Signet Ring.
Oh, absolutely. Probably
So-
an Urban Thurman there as well. He's just
So-
looking for the priest.
It's a good thing that Jayden's able to get some value here and search his deck on this turn.
Yeah, but we've got the RBD has already been taken out, so we know that Jayden is going to get to draw with impunity the rest of the game.
With impunity.
All right, Auto Gideon.
The name of the classic game.
Does Justin have something for this?
Is the first one, the first one free?
Well, as we all know, Justin can't get to 5 if he can't get to 1.
That is true.
And neither can Jayden. He's thinking about it. Looks like he probably has options that he's weighing.
The one card that we can see in full in Jayden's hand would have to be the auto that we know he just put up.
Yep. Looks like it's still, it's auto,
Behind that, it looks like he might have a dream.
a pile of defense. Both characters and enhancements. So Justin opting to re-surrender the hopper, Looks like he's got some kind of defensive options in hand, but decided that they were not likely to pull through.
We're definitely going to see the counter turned up here. Hopper jumps across.
Yep, he found the priest for his Ermith
Yep.
so Justin's got his hand knowledge, and now so do we. We've got a Harvest Time, an Edict, and a Pile of Defense, and a Zeal. So Jayden is pretty stacked here. Justin's going to have a really hard time pushing through this. He's probably going to have to make multiple attacks and force some resources used before he's going to actually break through. The question is, how can he attack in such a way that forces Jayden to use his resources but without sacrificing too many of his good attacks?
Yeah. Definitely going to be facing some attrition here to push through. Confusion of mind again.
Yep, I think that might be his. So he doesn't have the HSR yet. His two artifacts are the Ermith and the Confusion.
Moving places.
Wanders for Covenant Breaker means that he's probably intending to attack with some sort of fight with the numbers character. This is a situation where a fight with the numbers angel could be great. Something you can check at your opponent, force them to use resources without really investing many of your own. We'll see if Justin has one of those here. Nope, he's going with auto, so we're going to see some sort of judge here. Goes to deck. Probably for a Gideon. Ehud.
Ehud.
Decides to try his luck with a choose the blocker again.
Is he choosing the same one?
Chaldeans, same thing. Just goes for an angel.
Drop the Angel of the Lord. And picks up a Revealer. Looks like. Yep, Revealer. Passed over. So it is back to a 1-1.
1-1, but I think, and Jayden has more dominance left in his deck. And also is up on tempo, given that it's going to be Jayden's turn with an even score. Provisions coming out, setting up for a future turn. Puts it on the Moses, that worked out for him last time.
You can see him getting to some of those comfortable lines of play that we saw earlier.
Yep. All right, we see a Punisher come down. So if Justin puts a single extra Brigade in Prey, all of his heroes are going to turn off.
And we've got the Magic Charms over here. Along with the Judas.
Go ahead and instantly kills the charms.
Yeah. That's probably the right move.
Yep.
Instead of sitting back and letting it do something.
Mine or yours? Yours. Yeah.
Wanderer. Getting its exercise in. And if you thought anything else, you were wrong. Auto. Is it just going to be auto Gideon? It is indeed going to be that.
What a surprise. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, leave it in classic. Yep.
And confusion in mindset. Jason said, no. All right, looks like Justin does not have anything for Otto Gideon. And we see the dominance come down, so this game could end quickly.
It is now going to be to the 1.
I believe Jayden has not used his Angel of the Lord yet, so we could see that coming through as a finisher. Pentecost coming down.
Pentecost.
That's true.
That what sets them aside, and when they come back, you draw 3.
Yep, and they come back on the next turn, so
Yeah.
he's going to get to D6 at the beginning of his turn.
So theoretically, what he's sitting on in his hand, he could feel comfortable just potentially giving up the soul or not having to worry too much about it. Justin got all those defensive resources early on in the game, and it's kind of just backed him up from the flow that we saw in that early game.
Yep, he managed to draw the game out a little bit, but wasn't able to capitalize on that extra time and pull himself ahead, and Jayden eventually caught up.
Yep. It looks like we might see the guy that's been winning everything continue to do just that.
Yep, we've got the edict in here, so Otto Gideon plus edict. He didn't have an answer for Otto Gideon before, and there's an edict to do, so Justin is going to have to find something here.
Looks like it might just be too little too late. Time just catching up with him. There's the signet ring. So there will not be searching of the deck for Jayden.
Justin trying to think his way out of this. Not a lot that he can do in this scenario. The Moses has, I think, got another turn left on the provisions. He's got HSR up, but Jayden already has pretty much everything he needs. He needs a way to generate some extra resources if he wants to prolong this game, but even if he survives another turn, he still has to find a way to make up, he has to get all the way to 5.
Yeah, I think the gap's too far here.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's just thinking through those last minute options if he missed anything, but I don't think there's going to be much he can do here.
Even if he's got the dominance right now, he still has to rescue 2 more legit souls. So that's going to be, if he gets a soul this turn, he has to then block Jayden, get another soul that turn.
Looks like he just passed the turn.
Yep, no attack.
Didn't even push. So
not what you want to see here.
That's almost like extending the handshake. Seems a formality at this point.
Yep, looks like we may be seeing
Mr. Classic make his winning
Classic
play. And the belt won't even fit around the man. It will fall off.
Yep, Confusion of Mind being turned off, Punisher being exchanged for, Jayden reclaiming his hero abilities.
And 3 to boot. More resources.
Yep.
Sort of matters. It's in the same phase.
And there we see the fight with the number of souls, so all souls being turned off here.
What if he does his rescue with Nurgle?
That would be pretty funny. He could push it through. He's got he's already used the angel.
Who?
Jayden.
Oh.
No, he hasn't?
He hasn't.
So if he found it, he could push through
a
Nurg victory here.
And we saw, did we see Justin?
That's a good question.
I don't know if we saw Martyr for Justin, so it might not be so simple there.
Probably just going to see an auto Gideon.
He martyred auto at the beginning.
Aaron Moses decides the band and the negate is probably wanting to eliminate the possibility that Justin drew into any jump blocks that could get through the Gideon.
Yeah, I think we might be looking at 5-1 here. Are we going to see a hand extended across the screen?
I think we might.
I think that's the only thing he's got.
Justin's thinking, so he may have something that he could try.
Trying to pull yourself out of something like this starts with one play at a time, but I think when you look at what we've seen out of Justin's deck in those other games, like I just don't see it's there.
I agree.
What he's facing.
I'm not sure what combination of cards we'd be looking at in his hand for him to keep this game going. Nope. Hand extended.
There it is. And Mr. Classic is Jayden Alstad, beating Justin here 5-1.
Well, we did have the Fortress Alstad brother versus brother finals.
That Jay said we couldn't have in the finals, but we had it. So congratulations to Mr. Jayden Alstad and to all of the competitors. You know, thanks for coming out and having some good games. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream here, but the first ever Mr. Classic, Jayden Alstad. Maybe we'll grab him for an interview at some point with the sideline reporter.
Yeah, I guess if you had
very exciting for Jayden. Not entirely unexpected. Jayden has been on a tear lately.
Jeremy, will there be a crowning ceremony?
Yeah.
There will be a crowning ceremony.
You heard it here first, folks. There is a crowning ceremony, implying that there is a crown to go along with it.
We will see if the belt fits around him or if it drops.
I was supposed to get the edict out of your hand.
So we'll let you finish up here listening to the players.
But
thanks for watching.
What I was thinking was I needed this to, block a by the numbers attack, and then try to find the DOU to play off him with Gideon. So yeah, the blocks didn't line up with the attacks that you were making.
Right. And it was like the attacks I was making was kind of based on Punisher and Confusion of Mind. Like,
yeah,
I just kind of had to go with whatever was CBN, and like,
yeah.
I guess also I had the Harvest Time, so I wasn't worried about DOU. It was just the end of battles.
Yeah, I think I maybe got a little bit worried about. I was thinking Axis Solomon to Eli's to give you a huge draw, which is why I didn't want to block with that.
Right. Yeah, that's why I captured your Jer with Go into Captivity on that first block when I had Pride, or something. I think that I could have played on Nurgle.
Yeah.
But I also didn't really want to set aside my Nurgle, so.
Right, yeah.
At least for Jer. Signet Ring was a sneaky ad that I...
Yeah, I don't think I ever showed that one. That was after the Good Test games. I was like, oh yeah, that card was really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I'm guessing you didn't attack last turn, so that I didn't have an opportunity to snipe
that's
it.
why I didn't attack. Yeah. I figured my out was
getting a DOU.
Getting a DOU off of somebody with initiative.
Right.
I didn't have DOU, so I was like, maybe it would have to have been Damsel, but
Damsel to draw or Magicians to
yeah.
reveal. I mean, I guess you go, depending on what I do, I guess you go Magicians, reveal, see if you hit, then Band a Slave.
Yeah.
Now we've got 2 characters in battle too, which,
yeah, I never even saw the Divination. Any 3 games.
Wow.
So frustrating. But, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest part was, I think, that no heroes turn 1 or 2. Like, I mean, just to force you to use up some resources because, you know, I couldn't do anything once you had so many enhancements in hand.
Right, and then my turn 1 rescue was a huge like defensive wipe for you, or I mean like
Yeah.
getting rid of all your Balaam, Manny, and Charms was big.
Yeah, I gambled a bit, but I was like, I feel like I could just get so much more value out of Charms.
Right.
And yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping. I mean, I guess I was, when I was going out and thinking I could choose, I was hoping to think I had like Dagger or something so that I'd, you know, you pop Charms and I can just interrupt and discard, so I'd make you play something else.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I maybe. I don't know. Having Charms, I think Charms got angeled both other games, and so maybe it's just getting the value where I could might have been the play.
Yeah, definitely. Or, I mean, I think you were right to play Angel when you did. Well,
No, I'm talking about.
Oh wait, no, wait.
I'm
When
saying
when you angeled my Charms, or no, you destructed my Charms. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, it was Marc that angeled my Charms.
Yeah, and I'd gotten my Charms angeled in the other 2 games.
Sure.
And so I was just thinking, like, you know. Yeah, the side battle from hand, that's a little.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's the big thing with the like reason I was playing Sword Against Sword. It was like between that with the Babylonian stuff, I mean the DOU, and then Graves. It was like way too much. I think actually I wasn't even playing Dagger. I think I was playing that over Dagger.
No, you had Dagger. That's because you said you were. Oh, you thought you were trying to get me to think you had
might have thought I had it.
Makes me look a lot better than I actually got 4. Other question, where do I put my stuff?
The heroes abandoned me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I stabilized after the plot, but then still not drawing a hero. Did you end up playing Wheel? Okay, so martyring Auto was not necessarily a solution.
Yeah, I mean, getting Auto was important enough that I was running Wheel and Data.
Yeah, I think as soon as he played Zadok, I was like, I could have flipped up a ring, but that was the turn that I had to convert Nurgle.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
No, I did, because I drew the Angel off Auto. So it was Auto, drew Angel, and so I didn't know that I was going to have Angel.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't go to Moses then, because you make me play something, and then you can play Angel. Because I didn't have anything like the only CBP thing I had was Forest Fire.
I think that was the turn that Moses set aside. I don't remember now.
I thought I remembered you were like not going to Moses, and I was.
Well, but you still had all the numbers in your hand.
Yeah.
You still had like 11
So you make me play something, and then you play Angel. I guess if I'm going for numbers, I'm blocking with Judas though. So yeah, I guess that doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you still had Judas, and I didn't want to let Judas.
Right.
I was hoping to. I forgot about the Chaldeans.
Yeah.
The condition on Chaldeans, but I was thinking, yeah, I took out Chaldeans. Next turn, I grailed Judas, and then hope that you don't redraw into the characters.
Yeah. Well, I didn't put down Judas until Grail was done. You just knew I had him when they were doing. So I guess it's assuming I put him down, which I don't know if I probably don't do. He's got one use of Grail. Or maybe I do to tempt you to keep Grail up so you don't get to see my hand.
12 heroes, a 9th raider.
Everywhere around here.
Where's my belt?
Jeremy, where are you? We know you can hear us.
Gotta see if it fits.
It doesn't fit, it passes on to second place.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I heard.
Saint Cinderella.
Congratulations, Jayden.
Thank you.
Yeah, now you get your fancy binder to show off.
Oh, yeah.
What's the second place prize?
Talk to Jay about that.
Hey.
I literally gave out what I was given, so.
Alright, Satan's Folly, let's go.
Now you have to build the classic deck using all of those.
Right.
Challenge accepted. Can
To make one of Tim's
Can I put Nebuchadnezzar in?
border decks. All the matching borders.
No. Judas, one of the MVPs, got me a block against Marc when he tried to edict him.
Yeah, I think it stopped me from going Phineas Seal. I think if you don't have Judas, I get a rescue with Phineas Seal. The last turn that I didn't attack, but then you still get to blow up Signet Ring, so it's kind of a...
Right. And I draw with Dream.
Yeah. Yeah. If I block the first Gideon rescue, you could use Edict. That probably means you have to use something else on the next one. So maybe I get off the Give Trick block. But yeah, just because I fell so far behind on cards, I didn't know if I needed to save my evil character when I actually had a chance to block.
Sure. So, against Brian, he was like going kind of slow because he didn't draw any Lost Souls at the beginning, and like so he was kind of like trying to intentionally drought, and he made a rescue and he's making a rescue on turn 2, I think. And I almost gave him a revealer, but decided to give him 5 numbers instead, and didn't have any souls. So on my turn, I could draw 3, nothing, just go with auto, draw 2, get Hopper. So that paid off. And then I exchanged with Jer, draw 2, draw Falling Away. So then I'd fall away my 5 of the numbers in my discard phase, and then he draws Hopper on his turn. It was like the perfect timing. Well, I guess, I mean, I was gonna put the belt on the live stream, but there's no belt.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
It's fun watching your game.
Thank you.
Totally called the EHUD to choose the blocker to AOL. I was like, oh, he's gonna choose and he's gonna play Angel a little before the game gets initiative. It's exactly, yes.
Yeah, no, I was kind of had to go a little bit desperation mode there. If I would have had the Angel in hand, then it's an easy choose Nurgle, get Nurgle, and then I don't have to expose Grail. I think I can keep up the defensive artifacts, but fell a little too far behind too quick without having heroes on turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, losing that's rough to come back from.
I had a lot of defense though on turn 1 and 2.
Well, every time your hand got revealed with Urim and Thummim, we're like, holy crap, that's a lot of defense in there.
It's those dual alignment
Yeah.
Ezekiel enhancements, man. It's like they look like defense, but yeah, they're offense mainly. And
But do you have anyone besides Ezekiel or anyone else that they're playable on?
Aaron
Yeah.
and I didn't include Benaiah, so yeah, it's just Ezekiel and Aaron. They're the only green. But I mean, really, you want to be playing them on Ezekiel to make them CBN, or you use them on defense in a side battle.
And then just keep recurring it with Conquerors. It's pretty good.
Or yeah, with Ezekiel and then
Ezekiel
astrologers.
Wonderdax it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Alright, I don't know if Hendrix and Josh are still talking.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'm gonna close off the street. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Despite losing the first round,
The van!
I really enjoyed treatment like this, structure, this nature.
Doing what?
Despite losing first round, I still enjoyed like the structure and how like